Good day to everybody present. My name is Decorexia, and if you're wondering, okay, how many episodes is pre-recorded? There's a lot. There is a lot. I have gone way above and beyond to try to get these beautiful guests for you all to listen to some interesting conversations. If you all don't know, today is the 31st of October. I am literally what? It's like what? What's the time now? It's 9:30 around, and I've got a flight in about 9 hours. So we are there. But welcome to another episode. Today we have a very special duo of Pranay and the return of Sirius because guess what? Sirius does content. Did you all know that? I thought he was only a farmer.
That's also
Serious.
content this thing.
Oh, really? What was the last piece of content that you did, by the way? Huh? Just curious. I'm
I
just curious.
leaked I leaked where Lenny's going.
That is called farming, man.
It's called farming with content.
Satyavachan.
If you look
Satyavachan.
it that way, yeah, it is farming with content.
Any content is good content at the end of the day. But today we
Yes.
have the how do you put the debut of Mr. Pranay. Now Pranay by for many people might have just been seen in vlogs and behind the scene videos. So Pranay, please could you do your honors and introduce yourself?
So, hello guys, myself Pranay Goyal. I used to work for Velocity Gaming. You might have seen me in their videos and stuff. I used to handle their social media content, and I also used to handle some of the management stuff behind, helping Euphoria, the manager, and helping the organization in the whole. I also used to do brand and marketing for Velocity Gaming.
So here we have Pranay, who is, might I say, an all-rounder in all circumstances. I can't believe it. We've got a person, an all-rounder. And beside me is a farmer. Like, nice. A farmer, an all-rounder, and me. Where could things go wrong? But today's episode is going to be very much interesting because we'll be dealing in the world of social media and content creation because it has become a topic which has created flack for some organizations. And to be honest, it should be spoken out because let's be honest, there was a situation where I feel people could have done better, and we all feel like that. So today's going to be an in-depth conversation. For you, serious, we had touched upon this a bit ago. Whenever you have worked in your seen organizations like Bleed and other organizations working for you, how do you feel the culture of content creation is different compared to like in the international market or in SEA versus SA?
I mean, I think like organizing content is maybe a little bit difficult in SE in my opinion because players themselves are not really that motivated to do content. But if you do the same in South Asia and NARU, it's legit the complete opposite, right? And I really, to be honest, like I really had a hard time just planning stuff that the players are comfortable doing because not everyone is keen to be in front of the camera and just do content in general. And I mean, that's pretty much the take from me. And I think the same I have experienced in China now because I've been working a little bit in Chinese scene behind the scenes, and those guys are also like very keen to do content and everything. If everything is scheduled properly and they are okay with it. But again, in overall, I would say just in general, like organizing content, making sure the execution is done properly, it's a little bit tough to do in Southeast Asia just because of the pure motivation of the players. But there are challenges where content creation gets difficult in India, to be honest, because there are some monetary factors included into it, some strategic factors included into it. So that's pretty much the take that I had in the last like 2-3 years now.
Okay.
And if you just look at content side of things in NA or Europe, it's very, I would say, open, and players are also very much into it. The team is very much into it, and the best part is like the organizations itself. They are very much keen to explore new things, which is now getting very much embedded into the Indian scene as well, which is interesting. But again, this is just what I have experienced in the past like 2-3 years, especially like organizing content, making sure, and organizing to the whole execution part of it, right? Yeah.
I mean, you
I would
bring.
I would
Yeah,
say say serious opposite was happening in SA when I was working in VLT. So
okay.
the players didn't wanna do much content in VLT, so we had to devise to another plans where the players are not on cameras because players don't like to be on cameras now.
Oh.
And when in VLT we Anna brought in Eccles and Doma, it
Mm-hmm.
was opposite. Like the NA players were super hyped about the content. They were
Yeah.
every time ready to just shoot the content, and then the SA players were not like you can say they didn't like to shoot content much. I would
That's,
say.
I mean, that's again somewhat correct. Again, as I said, like EU and A players are always keen to the content and to media stuff because those guys have been wired into the esports scene that way. But again, South Asia has always been a challenge. I mean, as Pranay said, of course, with players, sometimes they're not really willing to do content and media that much, and you really have to schedule things according to their, practice time and this and their life schedule and everything. But again, there's definitely like an organization factor as well, like behind the scenes. Organizations sometimes they are not really
Team?
on board with the creative team to
Yep.
invest into
Oh.
the equipment side of things, let's just say the planning side of things. So that's a very big challenge in India for now. At least that's what I've noticed, and I'm pretty sure Pranay is also will
I
agree on this.
agree with you, but I would say during my time at VLT, Anna was keen on creating content, so we didn't have much of an issue allocating resources to buy equipments or stuff. But we had some challenges because
Mhm.
sometimes many a times organization also has to look upon their expenses.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
in India, it is a big challenge currently as of now.
I mean, this is something which I think so many people might not realize or might not know, but if we see content, or we normally see most of the content which people feel for YouTube, and in India, the AdSense is not the best. It's like kind of a common fact, even for websites and for YouTube per se. Like Google AdSense doesn't work that well in India. And so the return of investment in the way of monetary way is not a lot. And I don't think so it's even like, like it's not feasible for the amount of money that has been put in. But I want to ask this, like for an organization like when you were working for VLT, they have a brand name. Didn't the players ever feel like, okay, if the name VLT has a brand, why can't I ever like this mentality isn't built in them that they want to create their own name as a brand?
So during like the players in VLT, right? So during the start of VLT, all the players did a lot of in the start. They pushed all the channels and stuff, which ultimately helped grow the organization and themselves. So when I joined like 2 years back, player became like a बहुत कर लिया यार अब मन नहीं है करने का वाला situation.
Okay.
So it happens with the players, I would say. And regarding the app, I would say I would like to reveal some stuff regarding the Google AdSense earnings. So during my time at VLT,
Hmm.
so I would say for the start of 7, 8 months, we didn't even earn enough to like get back the amount of money we invested on a camera alone. So, and we regularly uploaded. It's not like we uploaded once or twice a month. We regularly uploaded. We almost had 60 to 70K views every video. Still, we didn't even able to get the camera cost back. So the AdSense is really shitty in India as of now. The
And
only
I'm
way
I mean,
we made
I mean,
the
in
money
general,
back,
I'd say like AdSense is probably never really looked upon return
yep.
on any of the content because you really cannot. I mean, whether it's like America or anywhere, right? There's probably not enough AdSense anyways, right? But unless you're obviously a content org like Power, maybe your sideman or someone who really relies on
hmm.
just content, right? Maybe SOTL as well, because again, their content is really a huge part of their organization right now. And going internationally, there's obviously Power, right? Whose core is built upon content creation. So if you are someone like those guys, there's definitely scope to get AdSense and make decent money, I guess. But otherwise, in esports in general, I don't think there's nobody really thinks, oh, I'll make probably like 50% of what I spend on content back from AdSense. And honestly, like on Bleed, I don't think I ever I ever even opened the AdSense. I don't think I'll ever open the AdSense. Like not even once in my lifetime I've ever opened AdSense because I know I don't want to see yeah $10 milega, $20 milega. It's not worth
It's
it, man. It's
not
just not
worth
worth
it.
it.
So
And at that time there was not even fucking Twitter ad revenue. I'm pretty sure if we had Twitter revenue, we probably could have got like $200-300 a month. I'm
same,
pretty sure we can
same.
probably reach that
We
point,
could
especially with
easily
and
How
and,
much?
and
grab
now
that.
Wait,
with
one
that
second. 2
NBA
million.
announcement and everything. What?
You said 2
No,
million or how much did you say?
100, 200, bro, at best.
Okay, 100, $200.
Dollars.
I heard 200. I'm
Yeah.
like 2 million. I'm like,
No,
what?
what the fuck?
Oh
I'm
man, how
No,
do
like,
you want 2
how much
million?
farming
maybe
were you
2 million
doing?
Vietnamese dong, maybe you can get. you can get, but nah, not rupees or dollars, bro.
I mean, no, I
Damn.
mean, you. No, I heard two, and I'm like, he just said two. I'm like, how much farming you used to do for bleed, yeah? But no, I mean, you talk about AdSense and fair use. I mean, now people, if this podcast doesn't survive for the next 10 months, you know very well why. So don't you come back to this episode, okay? You now know why this podcast had to be like self-sustaining, and afterwards, whatever happened, I'll try to make it run. But getting back into this, we talk about AdSense and monetary gain. Fine. Monetary gain, I think so. Even influencers have now proven it to us that sponsorship is the biggest way to go. All they want is numbers. You create the numbers, people will flock to you. My then question is that weren't there actually sponsors there who were actually like, okay, you have the numbers. Like if you're a gaming thing and like you have a gaming channel, so there will be sponsors, or like you're an org, so game related tech or something other will have like a open, maybe even like a opening like of like maybe like, oh, we're going to open a headphone, and like that could be sponsored content. Like wasn't that like ever thought about as an idea, or you're just shunned away because okay, this is not esports and we don't want to just make us as like a marketing thing? Like what do you feel?
I feel like we in VLT did this kind of a thing, but
Hmm.
it was not profitable in the long run as of now in India.
Any particular reason why? Is it just because they were just giving you the headphone, like do it on your own, but just here's the headphone?
No, I would say it wasn't because I would take the case of VLT. So there were only two people in the management, me and Euphoria. We were handling every single thing which was happening in the organization, everything which goes behind the organization. So it for VLT, I would feel like it wasn't viable because we needed, I would say, a separate kind of a team or thing just to handle those stuff.
I mean, for you, serious, what do you feel like? Is there, are we going to see, like how you stated, are we, do you feel orgs outside India do have this? They have a creative head and they have all of these roles. Is that, do you feel like that's going to be like a new thing which is going to be rising in India, or
I
nothing
mean,
to be seen?
Indian orgs do have the creative
Yep,
managers, social
they have.
heads, content heads. Yeah, everyone, mostly everyone has, the individual departments and everything. So, I mean, the roles are already here, but it's
Okay.
just the execution and the output is still, I think,
And
yet to
people
come
does
at its full potential. Let's be polite, right? And
and people don't know what the roles are, what the roles mean.
and one more thing again about the sponsorship thing, right? Because not I don't think like organizations initially they look into brands and partnering up, collabing as really a monetary factor, right? It's also a factor about a brand value. So they again, just an example, as soon as we got back from oh shit, GXR from
Yeah.
Hyderabad back to Singapore, I think within that time frame, uh, we shifted to a newer boot camp, and I think within that week itself, we had to buy an entire camera setup, like the whole studio setup for us. Again, I was the one doing all the stuff. That I had to go to every shop and buy everything for the studio and everything.
Studio.
And secondly, we had a shoot aligned already, so we had a shoot with Secret Labs,
Okay.
and we saw that opportunity not to gain money from it, but to gain brand value out of it.
Okay.
Because again, that was a time in Bleed when we were really starting to get recognized as a tier one organization, because we just had signed Scary, we just got off a LAN event, and उससे पहले जो भी हमारा run था, that was more, a little bit of a cursed run, let's be honest. We fucking lost all our grand finals back and we keep on losing. So, that was really a time frame when we started to expanding a lot, and started to recognize ourselves into the tier one scene in Asia, right? And at that time, we obviously saw the opportunity to work with Secret Labs, and yes, we made it work. Secret Labs also, they saw opportunity in us. We had players like Scary and Crazy Guy. Those guys have individually a very big presence in their regions, Vietnam and Thailand. So those guys also see an opportunity with us. So we did make out content with them. We uploaded on our social media. We made, I believe there was some story promotion or something on individual players as well. So again, there's a lot of brand value as well that's also seen when you're working with, on an organizational level. So I mean, yeah, there's not just a monetary thing that you always have to think about, but at what stage of an organization you are you at a growing stage or an expanding stage? So there's a lot of brand value that need to extract from who you're collaborating with, and what kind of a deal is going on.
I would say, as per the monetary aspect of things at VLT, right? So all the we were the organization with the most amount of brands in
Yeah.
esports in India.
Yeah.
With the help of those, VLT was able to like break even their losses and profit, and some months they were even in profit due to some brand deals like here or there, like small brand deals like HyperX sponsoring to promote their headphones for a single story or something, which helped VLT a lot. But when VLT was started,
Hmm.
so Anna had a single plan. He didn't want to get any sponsors. I was talking with Euphoria regarding this when we were having a chat. So Euphoria told me Euphoria was from start of VLT.
Okay.
So Euphoria told me during that time when VLT was unbeatable, they were winning every single LAN in every
Yeah.
single event in 2020. They
Hmm.
had a lot of brands who wanted to sponsor VLT, but Anna didn't want to pick any sponsors because he wanted to first work on the team and the organization as a whole, and he didn't care about the monetary thing because he knew ki if VLT as a brand is big enough, they
Mhm.
will get enough sponsors or get enough things just to get it break even.
I mean that way. If you think about it, the negotiation ploy works for it. But then it's like you wait a bit too long, and suddenly like, oh wait, like the iron is
But
not
that's
hot, and you
also a
just
very big, but that's also a very big commitment, right? Like,
yeah,
if let's say VLT at that stage have maybe got like 4 or 5 brands, which I believe they could have easily, very easily have
Easy.
gotten, right?
Yep.
yeah.
So it would be a big commitment for Anna as well to build a proper content team at that, and then I'm sure like he was a little bit hesitant to do. Does he want to invest a lot of money into getting a lot of stuff and everything? So that again is a very big factor on why maybe in this case probably like orgs don't want to get brands initially and
Hmm.
look into the monetary side of things. But again, since it was only Pranay and Euphoria handling majority of the operations, I believe, and Pranay handling all the creative part and maybe like team management or whatever. So there has to be some sort of a limitation for what the staff can also do. Right?
I
You
mean
can't. Anna also being a very understanding person, he obviously doesn't want to force
anybody.
the only two people working in his org and the back end to just do like, oh guys, we have 10 brands now. We need to make like 50 videos just because we have to make it now because we have taken money from them.
I mean, you look at it now, and we see the transition from VLT going to like having different teams to now going to only have content creators, and this is like it's like a full circle, like from shying away from like having sponsorship content. Now you got like creators who are there who you could create content with. And I need to ask because there was a commonly asked question back when VLT was quite famous was why isn't there much content being put out? And I don't know if you can go into the specifics of it, but because at that point, if I'm correct, there were different organizations. Like I think so that's the same time where SA2 started putting out a bit more content. Global put out a bit, but it was not a lot. But then VLT had like I think so a lot more name value as well. At that point, I think so. This is like I'm talking about when you all had the event. I think so it was GXR only when like PaperX had come. And I remember like VLT was not invited or that event, even though it was like the home ground. And I remember,
So BLT was invited in the Indian qualifiers, like
okay,
the top eights or something like that.
huh. Yeah, they should have been one of the main teams. If you haven't in India City, I'm so sorry. That was like a very strategic ploy which was not working. But I remember that time I had a conversation with one of my friends who's like a VLT fan, and he was telling me like they have creator, but they don't create content. So do you feel like it was just a hesitance? Because at that point you all had content creators as well.
So during the time of GXR, right? So I would say like before me,
Yeah.
you like there was Ruchir Jha who used to handle the content in VLT. I wouldn't speak about Ruchir much because everybody know
If I
what
speak, I'm in
Ruchir did
big
and
trouble.
what. Yeah. So during GXR, we put up some kind of content, but during the GXR time period, there was partnership thing going on, right?
Yeah.
So whole focus of our team was to focus on the partnership thing, like to make the whole you can say pitch deck and stuff.
Yeah.
And after VLT was denied from the partnership, Anna was like, now we need to go full on content because when Riot rejected, they
Hmm.
gave a whole summary of why they rejected you.
Okay.
So the one point was content, and
Okay.
still, even though we didn't produce that much content, we produced like the largest, you can say, the most amount of content by any Valorant organization in India till now. I would say till the partnership time.
Okay.
We were the only one. Still, it was less for Riot. After that, after the partnership was denied, so Anna called me and asked me, told me like we need to, if we are going into the next season, we need to create a lot more content so that if Riot plans on doing more franchise stuff and like more partnerships, we won't be lacking in the content part. After
Mm.
that, we created a heck lot of content,
I
heck
remember
lot of content,
you in
and
the
I
documentary.
yeah, and I focused mainly, you would say, on the players, and we used to create content creators content on our channel too. But creators themselves have a lot of, you can say, commitment with the other brands. So to
Oh,
get, so for example, we have Rakazone, T-Bone, and Fatu. We need
yeah.
to get a shoot done with them. So I had to get a single day in a month to just shoot content because they have a lot of brand commitments on their own, which
Mm.
I obviously we can't like say no to, because they can't say no to because it's their main income source. So
Okay.
to
Yeah.
get them to, so due to which it wasn't able to, we weren't able to shoot content much more often with them because they already had a lot of brand commitments.
But wait,
That
hold.
time,
I would like to cut you in here, but you have the okay. Wait, hold up. You have a content creator signed to your organization, so shouldn't they have like a priority thing? Like, hey, look, in a week at least or in a month, I will give few days, or it was just too
so
lenient, or what happened?
So at that time of signing, Anna didn't mention the creators of you have to put in time for creating content for the channel. And Anna is still, you can say, lenient on them, and was lenient because you didn't want to force them out of their own branding, because VLT as a org didn't used to pay them that much that they can survive
Okay,
enough. They like coming into the year, everybody is getting married. They have to think about their families too.
Mm.
So Anna, you knew about these stuff and you didn't wanna be
take a risk.
strict on them, but me and Euphoria were too, you can say, strict on them. And after the lockdown period, the everything was opening up. They
Yeah.
had a Red Bull event, like a Red Bull game on something, if I'm not
The
wrong.
cricket match.
Yeah, cricket match. It was
Okay.
after.
Yeah, it was after
So
lockdown. It was like a
yeah,
very yeah.
so during that cricket event, after the cricket event, we like they were staying in the boot camp itself for a single day. We shot around 4 to 5 videos in a single day, in a single time period without any breaks, because they didn't have time. Everything ultimately depends on time they can give.
I mean, serious. I know we have not discussed, but I think so. That's something which was interesting, which I want to add. So I spoke to Sick Warrior, and which was just like an interview with him about like, hey, content creation. Hey, why is this not happening? And what he told me was this one small thing, like why a organization like the Sidemen or your Beta Squad or your Soul works in India or any region is because of how close they are, like how to put regionally, as in like imagine a country, they're like literally like 10 minutes away from each other, they're staying in the same building in itself. Do you feel like this is going to be like the next step which we have to see, if like if there's going to be good content creation in the domain of esports, like you have to have them in a boot camp and like produce content? Because there is a failed example, and that is Orangutan. They got content creators on, nothing happened over there, and I have no answers for it. And sorry, we don't have anybody from Orangutan on, unless somebody has any information on this. Okay,
They created content just not on YouTube. They created reels
okay, so it's
Ah.
just reels. So just focus
every
on.
bro.
Individually as well, they created a lot of
Yeah,
reels.
they only
I
created
remember now.
individual reels, not for the organization. They
I remember
created reels
now. I
for
remember watching
example.
Ruchi's Ruchi's reel. I remember watching some holy reel or something. I remember watching that very vividly.
We come back to you with a little bit of a technical dilemma. So in the middle, somebody's camera overheated and there was nearly a short circuit. So apologies on that. But we're back and we are yet to discuss about Orangutan and their failed content group. What went wrong? Could someone give me some information?
So I will,
Pranay, Pranay is more the Indian content guy.
I
Apparently.
would say like where Orangutan failed was like their creators mainly focused on themselves rather than focusing on the org stuff.
Okay.
Almost every creator they had in their boot camp used to create something or the other for themselves rather than creating for the org on anyone.
And
If
is this
we like,
allowed? How is this allowed?
I
Like,
Oh yeah, now I remember
look,
what you were
I
talking about.
would feel like at that time orangutan didn't. Uh, I would feel were not strict enough to force them to do content. I feel like I have no idea what went
yeah.
behind the scenes, but
But
yeah, I feel like they should have forced it more.
why is there so much leniency there? Like, what is going on? You're like hiring people, you're giving them like, if you like, hold up, serious. If you do a reel for somebody and you're doing it for an organization, they will literally make sure that you are putting the reel out to the perfect, beat a video editor as well. I've heard this that people have told, हाँ मुझे ये music ये second पे अच्छा नहीं लगा, ये transition पे अच्छा नहीं लगा. But these content creators are allowed to just do whatever they want. Like, what is happening, or what was
And
happening?
this is exactly what you were saying now before the whole webcam issue. So I think you asked us that is it why is it not contractually added into the whole
Yeah,
thing that they have to produce certain kind of contract? And I was gonna say ki I won't name the person. So when we hired, I believe right, when we hired content creators, when I was put in charge to let's get some content creators thing. So we made sure that our creators had enough time. First, the deal is properly negotiated, right? No matter how much time it takes,
obviously.
and there is enough time for the creator to do a stream and to also produce the content and how he really wants to take his content creation approach. So let's say, for example, Crazy Face, right? He's a content creator from Taiwan. He was the first creator that we signed,
Okay.
and regardless of whatever streaming hours we negotiated on and whatever felt comfortable to both of us, there was always a content strategy when we called him out. Okay, come to Singapore, right? And besides the general thing, that's like we wanted to shoot announcement video for him and all that stuff, but he had his content planner in mind, and we were the ones who were gonna how do I say help him execute the whole thing,
Okay.
right? And we are the ones who's gonna help him engage in the content. So we had everything planned out, and that in my opinion should be the approach how organizations and creators should work together. That creator should have the freedom to analyze how he wants to take an approach, but
Hmm.
organization should be the one to actually be able to engage it with the creator.
I mean, exact. I mean,
Don't
this
be like
is
don't be it doesn't have to be a one sided thing, right? कि
yeah.
org ने बोल दिया creator को, okay, here's the account, make as much as you want. And now let the creative team also have
I see.
a conversation with the creator and how he wants to take it further.
I mean, this was told to me. I mean, so sorry, Pranay, but this was told to me that the way how SCTL works is, Pranay, you can help me out over here because you are
Yeah,
the know on and be all. You're like the god of content at this point. But what was told to me is like the content creators have to give an idea, and if they feel the idea is feasible, then SCTL will sponsor the entire like making shoot and making sure everything is done up. And like whichever content creators
I
available and stuff. So just help me out. Is this like the right? Like, what am I saying is right or it's wrong? Just help me out.
it is somewhat wrong, I would
Oh,
say,
okay.
because uh, as per the knowledge I have, so the creators like SATL is a creator org as a whole. If we look at it,
Yeah.
they majorly focus on their content. So the creators bring up like when they didn't hire a content writer, when they had creators, the creator used to like you can say bring in the idea and also try to pull in the money because it's a content org. Everybody is getting something out of it at the end of the day. So I would say the creators were investing themselves, and the you can say the videos they produce doesn't required much of the investment as they had lighting and stuff already, which was
There.
there in the boot camp. So
Okay.
the majorly expenses were usually just getting some kind of you can say if they are playing Jenga, so getting a Jenga.
Hmm.
So, which was feasible by if there are eight creators, they can pool in like you can say $100 and get a Jenga thing, which they can create a video and put it up.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I think so. There's conflicting reports on this, and good to know that there is two sides of the coin because I was kind of surprised by the ideology that okay, the content creator puts an idea out there, and like this organization, like yeah, okay, this is feasible if it fits our metrics. just do it and we will sponsor everything. Because I mean, anyway, the production cost is going to be very little for them. They are literally all living in the same boot camp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And every creator has their own DSLR, so they don't have to invest in cameras. They have lighting, as every creator is a streamer, so they have to have good lighting.
yeah.
So their majorly expenses was zero, I would say. They had everything already, which helped them create more content more faster.
So, Pranay, do you feel like what SAT will have been doing in the form of content creation is ideally quite the go-to? Like, it's like, hey, this is a blueprint, figure it out, and if you do the same pattern, y'all can have more content creator. Because let's just take a look. Right now, Revenant is trying to get more content creators on their thing. Now,
Hmm.
before that, Two Rippers have some. Gosrian have people under them? Just asking.
Yeah, they have the X orangutan asset will creator has stuff, if I'm not wrong.
I don't remember.
I'll check and give me a sec. I need to check upon it
Okay,
because
so,
I know for a fact he's there, but I don't know if he's announced yet.
oh,
So it might
okay.
be a leak.
Oops, sorry. He was on the boot camp. We spotted him over there when we went to Bangalore. We saw him at the event. It was given out at Sky. Not a leak. Not a leak. Definitely not a leak. But point being is these people are investing in content creators now. And ideally, right now, I was talking about this like when we were discussing about Counter Strike. Esports has now shifted to a point where there is content creators, like streamers, content creators, and there are players and players who have to do this.
I would say, like, if you are talking about SATL, what SATL did has they have done it fantastically and they have executed it fantastically. But if any other orgs try to follow their same blueprint which they used, I would feel like they won't be able to get the same results as SATL.
Why? Like, if you don't mind, say why? Because if there's a blueprint, put your own twist to it. And obviously, I think it's like a cooking up recipe for fun, right? Or why do you feel it won't work?
Because if any org tries to do this kind of stuff now, they would have to invest a lot of, first of all, they have to invest a lot of money just to get a place, first of all.
Okay.
And secondly, they bringing the content creators here, and it will ultimately cost them a lot. They have to first get a source of revenue which they can reinvest in this thing, in the content house. I would feel like this was the reason why Anna didn't pursue the plan of content house.
Yeah.
VLT was in talks. It was, I would not say even talks. We finalized the place. The place was in construction at that point, and Anna then looked upon its, you can say, expenses and decided not to open it because it is unnecessary amount of expenses which will be paid by Anna, which won't give us any result in the long term until unless you are focusing it on for 3 or 4 years, and you can't focus. You can bring on creators for more time because they all have, like, you can say, they all are getting married and stuff, and
Yeah.
the creators are on that stage of life. So it was
So,
not feasible for BLT, I would say.
okay. So you stated the boot camp would be like the a major content house per se would be like the first thing which could be the major requirement. What do you feel is
Yep.
the other requirement that will be needed then? Like, so we begin with the boot camp, then obviously content creators is ignoring the content creators per se. What would be like the other factors you feel that is very important?
Equipment. You need a lot of equipment. The creators nowadays, I would feel like they are okay. Like now, we are coming to the stage now in the mid of 2023 where creators from VLT have started to buy DSLR cameras for their streams.
Okay.
So, I would say investing in the equipment would be a fucking lot, a lot,
Obviously, I
because to
mean,
get to just, you can say, to get some lights and cameras and mics, it will cost you 1 or 2 lakhs at the bare minimum
per person you're talking, or like per
no,
creator you're talking like as a whole.
as a whole,
Oh, okay.
just to create content for the official channel.
The
Now,
YouTube
I'm not
channel.
talking, yeah, and for creators you need to get PCs, you need to get other stuff so that they can create content for their own, like stream from there, no.
Yeah,
So
true.
you have to get PCs, which will again cost you 4 to 5 lakh per person.
Hmm. So I
So
mean,
it is a lot of expense, I would say.
I mean, it is expensive, but then, I mean, okay, so we track it back then. Okay, so equipment, boot camp, and I think so. Other than that, we'll get to like the sponsorship things and how messy it can be because it is something I think so which should be brought up because we have seen it happen in the past and it's currently also being seen by people who are scamming their orgs and there are people who are content creators who scam their orgs. I don't know if we can talk much about it without due to I don't know what legal issues are there, but talking about this, I would take it one step back and I would like to know this, Pranay, ki, okay, so imagine now there's a person who's like a content creator. What is the reason a content creator can be sent by an esports org? Like imagine now we take it back. If I'm a content creator, why would an org hire me? Like what are the specific metrics that I have to hit to maybe get approached by an org?
So I would say what in BLT we had a simple metric if
Okay,
we wanted to hire a creator. We used to see what type of content or what content he produces. So for
okay,
example, if we are talking about T-Bone, T-Bone has his own genre. He plays any game, he'll get watching because that's his way of doing stuff. He can make you laugh at everything.
yeah,
So we
sweetheart by the
in
way.
VLT, Anna used to pick content creators on basis of what differently the creator can do because there are a lot of streamers in India. There are ton of creators like there are you can say every other person is a Valorant streamer now. What
Yeah.
a, a creator can do differently, which led to them being hired by VLT. There are a certain amount of only you can say only a few people were you can say up to the metric and now are in VLT.
I mean, I mean, now the people who are there, I think it's Raka Zone, Fatu, and T-Bone, and there is Eclairs, if I'm correct. Like, they are like the
Yeah,
main ones who might be there right now.
and Ocean Sharma.
Oh, wait a minute. Ocean is in VLT?
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, yeah, he was the last one to get signed. I remember this. Yeah. Okay,
yep.
yeah, I'm not. It's been a while since I've seen that. I remember there was a full video and stuff done, and Batura was also there in it. So yeah, that good. You brought back a lot of memories of mine with that video. Thank you. You made me feel older now. But no, I mean, getting into this, I mean, okay, so it's these metrics because we see a lot of content creators now just doing short form reels and stuff like that, and all of these trends and whatnot. So do the numbers really matter? Does it really matter, or do you feel like not that much? Like if an org is looking, or the org is like, yeah, you're marketable, you're a face. Do you feel it will be enough?
If you're talking about, I would put in two perspectives here. Like
Okay.
one from VLT. So in VLT, we used to see creators who are marketable because if you
Okay.
are going through numbers, there are some creators, I would say creators in VLT still who aren't like that big but create content which is marketable.
Okay.
So VLT focuses on more on the marketable aspect of thing. And if you're talking about an organization like Grey Fox, which I used to work in, I recently left it. They used to focus more on numbers
Hmm.
because as a starting up, they need to focus more on the numbers so that they can attract more, you can say, brand value to their organization.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you tend to think about that as well. I mean, numbers, numbers, numbers. I mean, serious. I would like you to add on to this. Like, do you feel like numbers is like the main go-to that is required right now by like organizations, or it's like you need to look at how marketable a person is? Because there was this one person who had told me. I remember I literally yesterday. I met somebody who handles like your musicians and artists. I met him in a cafe. He was just talking about like the whole Geo and Hotstar deal about why it's getting bought out and like the whole profit. And then he was talking about his old channel agency and stuff like that. And we were just discussing, and he was telling me like the number one thing is the artists are creative but do not think of themselves as a brand or a marketable. They think of themselves as, ah, yeah, I'll sing a song, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, I
But
mean that's honestly that kind of is also relevant into esports market as well because a lot of players don't really think of themselves as a brand initially,
okay,
and they think about it maybe a little bit later on in the career. So, for example, I mean, now a very good example can be like Shroud or Nothing, or these guys really created a brand out of themselves, right? Especially
yeah,
for and in Indian esports as well, like SK Rossi is there. He himself is a very talented player, but he also has created a a brand around himself as well.
yeah.
You know, so that is very important for players and esports athletes in general, to market themselves into the whole social media game as well, and just to keep themselves relevant, whether they're offline, whether they are benched or something, they're not really actively playing in the
Hmm.
respective title or something. They're still relevant in the scene. They're still active in the community and making sure they're engaging with the people who really bought the player out. So it's very important for everyone, to market themselves, not just the players, I would say, but even like the staff. I've seen like esports orgs ke jo backend members होते हैं, they're also getting into social media game a lot.
Yeah.
They also market themselves, share insights and everything, which is very interesting for general public to look into.
I mean, you talk about this, and this remind me of a very interesting topic which we can talk about. In a normal athlete has name rights, image rights, all of their like if you're taking their reference or like the body like look alike, then you've got those rights as well and stuff. Till now, if you do you have any example of what are the biggest deal or an advertisement that was done by a content creator for a brand, like exclusively the content creator or the player with a certain organ
Hmm.
with a certain brand? Do you all know
I
that?
think
Like,
as a player has to be Faker, right? I don't
Yep.
think there's anyone
It-
bigger than Faker as
no,
a esports
okay,
athlete. I'm saying
yeah.
as a creator,
I mean, no,
I'm
other
gonna
creator there are.
say,
I mean, there's literally Ninja with
oh, you can
the
go into millions. You can
yeah
go into
because yeah,
millions of dollars.
but in
After,
India,
yeah.
I'm asking about India. Till now, have we seen that, or it's not been happened till now? Like where there's suddenly like a big deal which has come through.
I'm
Uh,
not really like up to date on the creators part of it.
Pranay?
Uh,
I would
yeah.
say for the creators, the biggest deal which happened would be like Scout X ICC cricket, which
Oh
The
happened
yeah, I saw
recently for
about
the
that.
World
Yes.
Cup. No,
yeah, the
I
recent
Yes.
one,
have
Yes.
yeah,
no idea about
I was.
the financial aspects of
obviously.
things, but as we are looking at the brands, it
Oh yeah,
was the
that's huge,
biggest,
man.
if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong.
I mean, the amount of publicity Scout got out of it, it's actually ridiculous, man.
Yep.
Yeah, just imagine being there next to Ranveer Singh. Even like I don't know if they were in the same area at the same time because VFX. But I mean,
And I
just
think like one of the biggest collabs as well was with
yeah.
Scout and Doctor Disrespect, right? If you
Yep.
remember.
Yep.
I think that was also, I think for the time, if not,
Wait, 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 wait.
as of
What? Wait,
you don't know
Scout and
about this.
wait, hold up, reload, educate me.
So when
So,
Doc got banned on Twitch, he took a break, right? And
Yeah,
when he came back, he obviously started streaming on YouTube.
yeah.
And during that initial phase of him switching to YouTube, he also collabed with Scout, and they played Warzone, if I'm not wrong.
But
yep,
the
they
ping
There was
played
a whole
difference.
Warzone.
stream. There was a whole stream of him welcoming the
Dedicated
Indian
stream.
community and everything. Yeah.
Yep. Which if I'm not wrong, that Scout hit around 200K plus concurrent watching during that time.
I'm not sure about the numbers, but I was watching I was watching both the
Same.
streams. The Dog
Yep.
ka dekh raha hoon, Scout ka dekh raha hoon.
You're
And
telling
that was probably one of the first times I'm watching Scout stream.
you're telling me the
Yep.
two
You don't
time,
know about this. That's interesting, man.
the blockbuster champion of
Yeah.
1995 1996 was on an Indian gamer stream, and I
Yeah.
didn't know about
Yeah.
Not
this.
not stream. They were collabing together. Not on. ऐसा
Yeah.
cameo नहीं दिया है. They're
I am a
working together on.
disgrace. I literally quote fucking Doctor Disrespect like there's no tomorrow. I literally have put him up. Okay,
Bro,
man. Okay,
don't even
sorry.
know, man.
I
This is the
feel
end of
every
the podcast.
yeah. I feel like I mean, good. This is for me to learn. So you're like teaching me. You're teaching. I don't think so. Other people remember that, but Doc is Doc. That's all I'm gonna say. But I mean, yeah, fan by moment ho gaya. But
Been years since I've been following Doc, man. Since the Slick Daddy Club and before
oh,
that as
dude, that
well.
was so. Dude, his PUBG when he came back and he made the return and he won his first chicken dinner like he didn't forget it. Oh my,
And
dude, even the sniper
and
shot.
honestly, I don't think there have been like many such collabs
Yep.
yet.
After that, there won't any much collab.
Hmm.
Uh,
But if you consider this in a collab, like S12 Thug and Mortal did a collaboration with 100 Thieves.
Okay,
oh,
the one where
that was not really a
they went to
collab,
the
The
right?
boot camp, nah.
podcasting. No, they did a podcast too.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, I didn't see that.
even I've
Yeah,
not
they
seen
did a
that.
podcast. I saw a
Oh,
clip.
the
I
T-shirt
also
club.
haven't seen the clip, haven't seen the full podcast,
Okay,
but I saw one or two clips of the podcast. So they did a podcast together too. So I feel like
Mhm.
this is also big in
Yeah,
terms of
but
collaboration.
I would still think Scout and Doc is much bigger.
Yeah, it is much bigger.
And because at that
110%
time
bigger.
as well,
Yep.
this collab was done at a time when there
हाँ,
was not
Baba, yeah,
much
chill.
going on in esports besides PUBG Mobile. PC gaming was down, if I remember correctly. There's not much
No,
going on for Counter Strike. Valorant was coming up, I guess, right?
yeah,
So there was,
Valorant was coming up and PUBG
yeah.
Mobile was banned at that time.
Oh, PUBG was a
Recently
band,
banned.
okay. But again, man, even for that, oh yeah, I remember Scout was grinding wars and everything. I remember
Yep.
now. And I mean, for that time as well, this collab, and that was not even the peak of Scout's fame because again, the game was banned. People are
Yep.
Yeah,
watching him for his Call of Duty stream or something. And
FIFA.
imagine getting a collaboration like that. It's actually
I am
insane.
still amazed the fact that I feel okay. I'm too old. I'm too young in this industry to remember all of this. Nice, something for me to remember in the future. That the two time was right here. But yeah, I mean, we talk about Scout and we see about this, and it then begs the next question: What? So Scout, when we see like the esports player who made it, who reached the biggest collab, and I think so Mortal and Thug would be put in the content creator side of things because I think so
Yep.
Mortal was a player, but now mostly work. I think so. I see him quite a bit
And yeah, I
working in
think
like
during the
the
collab, he was a creator,
Yep.
okay.
a
No,
co yeah, not a
uh,
player.
he was a player until 2022, if I'm not. He played in
Collab
the last official
happened this
event.
year, right? Or last year? I actually don't
Who?
remember.
Collab
Uh,
was this year.
This year, no?
This
Yeah,
year?
no,
Yeah.
collab it happened this year when they went to
When
UK,
these guys
no?
went for the esports, no, Counter Strike
They
No,
Awards
went
के
for
लिए
the
they went.
mobile gaming awards, no?
Mobile Gaming Awards,
no, no,
yes.
no. I'm not
Yeah,
talking. Okay, okay, you're talking. The Mortal one was this year. I remember
yeah,
that aspect.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Scout one
Because
was
No,
different.
it
because
was
these guys went to LA,
lockdown.
right, for the awards, the
Yeah,
mobile awards.
yeah.
So that's why they had the collab and everything.
They won the award as well. Because good
Yep.
for them. I mean, that's the thing that they do content and they do it in such a way that they're winning. Like if they're getting acclaimed by international people, like fair dues, man. Then what more can we say than esport? You're putting out enough of content. But I am curious to know that there's a monopoly then built. There has been a monopoly. Let's just be honest. There's a monopoly, and now we're seeing organization like Godlike getting more creators. And recently, I think so. There was a situation. I don't know if anybody has information on this, but I could understand what is happening over there. I think so. Like they got on board two Free Fire. This is what happened. Okay, they announced they got on two Free Fire content creators who rack like about what 15 million subscribers or something like that. And within a month, they're gone. They
Yeah,
just said we're not
as
working
per
anymore.
the as per the internals, I got to know the Free Fire creators left because they didn't feel like they were
Valued.
like in a home, you can say.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was they felt like they were some outsiders in the organization, as per the
Yeah.
information I have.
not even I heard from my thing. Like they were just felt out of place. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, as a creator, I think so. That's the first thing. The main reason why an organization, not an organization, YouTubers group of sidemen have been there for 10 years is because each of them were like family to each other. They were there to thick and thin, and they were even there. They built up the brand slowly and steadily, per se. And
Yep.
recently, I think so. Serious here told me this about this Munchkins. Or who are these people? The suddenly the people who have speed. What are their name? I forget the.
But
Uh,
oh yeah, the myth part. I
so,
actually
yeah,
don't know the
I think
Yeah,
they got
the homie stuff, the
homies.
myth
Yeah,
that
homies.
no
Yeah,
gamers and Playpoint.
yeah. I mean, I try to see their videos, and they have only put seven. They are content creators who are separately there, who are clubbing and making content, but they have just put seven videos, and this makes me want to ask you all this question: How do you feel like after a certain point, people like how esports athletes are now being accused of being lazy? The same thing is happening with content creators who don't want to like spend a bit more and invest a
but
bit more and go around. Or
the
what do you feel?
practice is very different, right? I don't think it's a fair comparison. The practice itself is very lazy,
Yep.
different, not lazy. The laziness effort in esports athletes or players is in terms of their practice, in terms of their individual, potential to get better at a game. I think that's where the laziness is referred to.
Yeah.
How much a player grinds itself. And content creation is a whole different laziness. Uh,
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense a lot. But oh my god, who's inviting me to play right now? No. Yeah, so in the content creation space, the laziness, I guess, is referred to the execution part of it. Because again, planning shit is very easy, executing is very hard, and that's just the ultimate thing, right?
Yep.
You can probably be in a very influential group, and not able to make good content or not able to execute it in a very creative way, I guess. That's, I guess, how the laziness is referred to in content creation space.
Get into the club, boys.
Yeah.
Get into the club. But yeah, Pranay, you were saying?
Cotton mouth.
Yeah, I would feel like in the case of Sidemen, like now they
Yeah.
have a big team behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they bring out the ideas and they have a whole huge team who can help them execute that plan and get the stuff done easily and quick.
Hmm.
And I would feel like in the case of homies, if we are talking,
Yeah.
so as per the news and the inside news I
Sources.
have, they were not able to create content due to their brand, you can say the other brand commitments they had.
Yeah.
As they have Techno Gamer, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah, they do. There are
Techno
four of them.
Gamer, yeah, so
Okay.
Techno Gamer is considered to be one of the most, you can say, earning YouTubers from India in
Okay.
terms of gaming. It was said on a, if I'm not wrong, a podcast,
Oh, yeah, it
but
was
The
Thug,
scout,
right? Who
Thug
said
and
it?
yeah,
Scout
if
one.
I'm
Yeah,
not wrong.
he was the one, like the uprising one because of storytelling, if I'm correct.
Isn't Techno also a Red Bull athlete?
Yep, Techno is a Red Bull
Yeah.
athlete.
One
Oh
of
wow.
one of two,
Yeah, one
only
of
two in India.
How did
who
he
is the
not come to the
second one?
Pune event, man? I would have met him, yeah. I would have felt
I don't
nice.
think he's active with the Red Bulls.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think the Red Bull stuff in general is very active with these influencers because
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've last seen even Ankit Pan doing something for Red Bull.
He
Ankit
he
Pant
was
is no
there,
more a Red
Pune.
Bull athlete. If
What?
I'm not wrong, Ankit Pant isn't a Red Bull athlete anymore.
No, no, he is, he is.
He is.
I
He
just
is
checked
on.
the website a few days back only.
Baba, I literally
Sure.
met him in Pune. He was literally
No, it's Red Bull athlete and getting sponsored by Red Bull is different.
oh,
No, 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 he's a Red Bull athlete. I checked the website only.
So now there are three then.
okay. What is it?
Who's the third one? Oh, shit, let me
If
check.
I'm not wrong.
Educating ourselves
Techno
about.
is the Ankit Pant is there.
Yeah, Ankit Pant, I just checked. He removed the Red Bull athlete part a few months back. He put
Okay.
it back, I guess.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
mean, a
some
sweetheart.
isn't Ryan Craig also a semi gamer or something?
My God. I mean, there are so many things which are there, but I mean, these people. I mean, one thing I can say is one of the people. I mean, this is another side of content creation which you can get into, which is about the fame. And one thing I must say to is Ankit Pant is honestly a sweetheart of a person. Genuinely to me, he's been like one of the few creators who have been able to like just go and whichever event I go to, if I see him, I can just be like, "Hi, how are you?" and talk to him like a normal person, not feel like, "Oh my God, I've come here and I'm like a nobody." But I mean, that's the only thing. Other than that, I mean, I don't know if you all have had the situation because you all have worked in it. I had a bad situation with the influencer. Let's just call them an influencer because I don't consider them. I don't know. But I mean, have you all had situations where like you all had to like just like situationally deal with something because of the how would I put it, the acting or the way somebody's been acting at an event? And like how did you all be able to deal with that? Pranay, I think so you have more experience in this
If
side of things.
I am being honest, I haven't dealt with this kind of stuff as of now with any
Until now.
creators doing
Okay.
those kind of stuff because the creators I've worked with have a lot of experience in going these events, so they know what things
Yeah.
are expected.
Okay.
So I feel like I haven't experienced this from any creator.
Have you ever had a situation where like a content creator just made you feel like shit? Serious?
No, I don't think. Maybe it's just my size or something. I don't think anyone can really make me feel like shit.
Maybe I'm
Honestly,
the
I don't have a lot of experience with creators like
yeah,
in Indian events because I don't think I really haven't been to a lot as compared to Pranay.
yeah.
Um, but like I don't know.
I mean, so
Yeah, I don't think so. Like I don't think so. I'm probably usually on the other side because
we are on the back end.
whenever I go to an event, yeah, I'm either going with a team or I'm working with someone, right?
Yeah.
So like in case of a team, let's say someone wants to create content with my team, so they have to go through me, right? So that's what I mean by being on the other side of it. But I don't think I really haven't been spoken down to or something. But I do tend to stay away from some people, some type of people,
Hmm.
especially some type of influencers. And I do love like quite a bit of streamers that we have in India. But there are definitely there's definitely a group, and
We-
that you wish to stay away from. Just say your casual hellos and eyes and stay connected to and whatever, but not get mingled a lot. But again, that's just because usually I am with a team or
Personal
with
preference,
someone,
yeah. It's a personal
uh, and
preference.
and I just have my own company, and I tend
Mm.
to stay with those guys only, and that's how I enjoy my events.
I mean, I just want to know this because I mean, we see a lot of these like how do I put it? I see these content creators and they're doing good job. Let me just be honest. Indian content creators are now realizing that they are a business at the end of the day, and they're trying to present themselves even at events. It's not saying like they are not presenting themselves well. They are. So it's like a good thing because you compare it to any other influencer, you really know how bad it goes. And I know how bad it can be because I've gone to these parties where you see influencers in the VIP area, and let's just say some don't know where to be professional, some just don't know
I
how
mean,
to deal in.
creators and these influencers, these guys do tend to get crazy when there's like an after party or something, and I have seen that worst side of it. Whether it's in India or whether it's outside of India, I've seen both of it. So and actually to some extent, I think I enjoy it as well.
No, I mean
I'm
even
not a big I'm not a big party person. Like whenever even I go to like some backstage party or something, I just tend to sit at some place and have a drink or something. But,
boo
and I'm just that I'm not really into getting drunk
partying.
on the stage or something. But
Yeah. No,
again,
see
there is a
that's a
dark side of
no. I mean
dark
no.
side
That's
of
a
players
see.
and
See,
creators.
I mean that's an after party and it's a party. So if you hold yourself back, then there's no point. You're not going to enjoy. But I'm talking about like an event. I'm not. I've seen it reduce now. Suddenly, like this whole thing of like outbursts and situations happening at event drastically reduced. And I mean, you saw this. And if we talk about content creators, Pranay, you were there at the Masters event, right? At Sky Sports.
Sky Sports, which Masters?
The this year wala.
No, I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there. Acha, okay,
No, no, no.
because there's a very interesting thing that happened. Like it was in Bangalore. It is in the same place where their event is going to happen now, which I have to now fly to sooner than later. But point being is they had an event, and what interested me over there was the local creators. People like Sway Zaya, Shakshi, Ankit Pant were there, and they were getting their fair dues and their credits. But there was a sense of like if there's a creator from their state, there are these five PUBG gamers who came. And mind you, I will say this, it went bonkers. People are hooting, cheering, laughing. So do you feel like if orgs start to now realize that okay, we can go regional, we can make something work? Or do you feel that is not going to work out now?
I mean, like creators are in my view, organizations getting creators. The goal should always be to target the regional demographic. Again, in my previous experience, uh, scouting for creators, I always look for how involved these guys are with their communities respectively. So, like in case of a creator named Aki, she's very much active into the Dota Philippines market, and Crazy Face is very much into the FPS Taiwan market, and that's why these guys get consistent views as well, and that's why these guys are consistently putting out content because they're very much connected to the people as well, and they do put out good content for them. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why organizations in India do look for numbers. Again, that this was the question that was, I think you only said it like a few minutes back. That is numbers really like the important factor of it? I don't feel like numbers is a very, very, very huge factor. Obviously, you do need some, but it's just the connection of the creator with this community that's also very important because that's gonna something uh, that's something that's gonna go on for a longer term.
True. I would.
What do you feel, Pranay?
I feel like a lot of organizations tend to nowadays look for more of a regional connect. For in if we are talking about VLT, we used to see at that factor of things like how the like Sirius said they hire creators upon how they are connected with their community. We
Yeah.
did the same thing with VLT at that time, at that point of time. We saw the creator how much creators were connected with the audience. In case of I would say Grey Fox, the you can say the upper management, the people above me are likely to see more numbers than the people the creator connecting with the community because there are some things which if you wanna you can say new management people who come into esports they tend to look more at the numbers rather than seeing the community aspect of things.
So do you feel like we can sooner than later, if done right, if there's an organization which is there, which somehow be able to get creators from one from the north, or few from the north, few from the south, few from all these corners, and start creating like just a group who are consistently there, who are hitting each demographic. We can in short see the beginning of a powerhouse, right? Like this is
Yep,
like
we
the
can.
beginning. Like imagine if somehow, imagine there's somebody who has got the backing who decides, you know what, we'll spend 2 lakhs on just like, or 3 lakhs on equipment itself, and like they have a boot camp ready and stuff like that, and there are these people like, hey look, every month or every weekend you'll have to come over here, we'll shoot content, or we'll go to different parts of the country and make content together as a group, and there you go. And like imagine how they do like 2 shoots per in a month, they do kind of few shoots and stuff like that, and they create content and stuff. If that works out, we literally have the formula of like the bigger the organization right there, right? Like in
But
theory.
this kind of stuff, you can't really rely on creators to do everything on their own.
No,
You
obviously.
have to have a creative team following them, making sure every move, it's going
Hmm.
smoothly. Obviously, the creators are gonna be in the front of it, but it's just the execution part, as I said in the beginning, right? The organization has to make sure that execution is there, and this
Okay.
is where creators can get lazy. The word lazy again.
Okay.
This is where the creators can get lazy because even if they have the best equipment provided to them, sometimes they might tend to lack off a little bit, and that's why you need the creative team, behind their backs to help them out and just to motivate them again and again.
Yep, I would agree with Sirius on this point. Like, if you are talking about starting an organization with creators from all over India, you need a big, you
Hmm.
can say, a big creative team just to help them out do everything smoothly,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of times, you can say, if you are creating content, you need to have something go prop. If you don't see something go properly, it might affect you, like you can say, financially too, a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So you need a big creative team, and if you're starting an organization, you are saying just starting an organization with
Hmm.
people from all over India,
Hmm.
it won't be feasible for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years even, because it will just be burning money at that point of time.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is where the investment goes wrong as well, right?
Yep.
If an organization is putting money, and again, as Pranay said as well, equipment is not cheap. It's very, very
yeah,
expensive, and it's very, very high valued as well.
yeah.
So if you are putting in money for that, you need to make sure that you're getting value out of it. Nobody else is gonna come out from outside and be like, "Arey kaam karna bhai, camera use karna." Nobody's gonna do that. You have to do it on your own, and
I mean,
find people who motivate themselves to fucking do a shoot and execute things.
I saw something recently. We were talking about monetary things, and I will get to the brands, but this is something interesting which I saw by Godlike. What they're doing now is they're telling like, you call us for an event, we'll get most of our creators on, or most of the people, the game players on our team, or the streamers. We'll get them to your event. This happened at Red Bull, and this is now even happening at DreamHack. Is
This
this a
happened
new?
in the week as well. The Valorant challenges. I was there for the finals. No, the Goldzin,
Yeah,
even OG, like they both had. I went there for the finals game. So Goldzin and Orangutan,
yeah.
and both the teams are the creators and everyone. Ruchir was also there, just saying. Uh, uh, everyone was there rooting for the team. Not
No, no,
sure
no.
about the content side of things because what they did, I don't see
No,
that.
no,
But
no. I was not talking about content. So this is in relation to like telling like, hey, look, we have got XYZ roster of people. These are the streamers. They come to our event, and obviously you're going to pay for everything. And there's a monetary gain. So now what is happening, which I saw which happened like these meet and greets. I know for a matter of fact, if somebody's coming to an event, they're going to get paid because obviously you're going to get paid. But now what all I saw Godlight do was, oh yeah, okay, this event you're calling us. Oh yeah, we'll get X, Y, Z, like 5 content creators or 6 event. We'll call them to an event, and yeah, they'll come. But now that's the thing. You go to an event. Now, Pranay, you can help me out over here. Imagine if I'm called to the next Red Bull event. Now there are 5 people from your organization over there who are going to this event. You can make a vlog. You can tell them to do their vlogs. You can do content over there like short form reels at the event and stuff. And then you're just like, okay, fine. You're making content over there because these people are close by as well. And then you're getting even paid by the organization to come to the event. So it's a new location. You can try out something new and stuff. Go to some food places, test out their food or some cafe or something like that. And isn't that like the right way of going forward now? Like to create content?
It is the, if you are keeping that, and if you are saying like that, I feel like it's the more and more brands. If you're talking about Red
Yeah.
Bull is known for their insane marketing they do.
Hmm.
So for them, uh, whenever they get a creator on board for a particular event, they have a special amount of stuff, deliverables they have to do, which might include a reel they need to do, a live stream or something, which ultimately is helping the creator
Hmm. Yeah.
grow more audience because it's something new for them. For example, T-Bone did one of his first IRL streams from the Red Bull cricket game on thing,
Okay.
which ultimately opened more and more content ideas, more and more content things for him. But he also got paid for it because Red Bull was sponsoring it, you
Yeah.
can say. So I would feel like it's profitable for more for the creator rather than the organizer.
No, I mean not organizer. I meant to say like imagine now God like takes 5 players. Now they're going to DreamHack. Let's just take this as an
Hmm.
example for our audience. DreamHack Pay, we have I think so they, if I look at it right now, not if I was just looking, they have called like quite a lot of people. Like I think it's like 7, 8
Almost
creators.
every godlike creator is
Yeah,
doing.
mostly all of them. Yeah. All of them are coming to DreamHack. Now, as obviously, if you're going to DreamHack, then obviously you're going to get paid because you're content creators, you're going to take the hours and whatever. You're getting paid and your entire thing is going to be handled off.
Hmm.
And like the travel includes, we know how it works. Your stay is paid off,
Yep,
your
yep.
your air travel is paid off. I don't know if the food and all of that is on their own, but majority is paid off. So when you're going over there, it's like a vacation for the people, but you have to just work over there and you're getting paid. And even though the organization will get paid a certain amount and then that gets split off. But that's a nice way of doing it, right? If there's an event, like, hey, my creators can come, pay this sum, cover all of these costs, and we'll be there. We'll try to get you all people, more people inside your arena. And that's a nice way of like just making some amount of money, right? Or like trying to work on this content creation side of things or the content creator side of things.
Yeah. So if you're I would like to give you a more of a perspective over this.
Please do.
So I told you guys about like we were break even and we were some months profitable due to some of the brand deals.
Yeah.
So VLT, when they bring any brand to a particular creator, like for example, T-Bone, Fatu, or Rakazone, if, for example, I'm not throwing the correct numbers here or the
Hypotheticals.
correct percentage. So if the XYZ brand is paying 20 lakhs, for example, to Rakazone,
Yeah.
for example, 20 lakhs is not a real number. I'm just
It's
throwing that number out
hypothetical,
there.
people.
Yeah,
Hypothetical. You
yeah.
don't need to worry. These people are not going to quote it and say, oh, Rakazon was offered 20. I don't think so
No,
anybody's going to. This is
just
a
to be clear.
hypothetical. Context
Yeah.
though.
So
Please, clip kar rahe ho to context though.
yeah, so 20, for example, they are paying 20 lakhs to Rakazone. So if VLT has brought in that particular brand to Rakazone, VLT takes a cut from that 20 lakhs because they brought in a brand for them, like what
Obviously.
8-bit creatives do, what
Yeah.
Alpha Zegas do. So I would feel like this helps the create organization be more profitable from their creators too, rather than just creating content and getting brands from it.
Yeah, I mean, this I think is pretty much the standard for organizations,
Yeah.
orgs as well, right? I'm not sure how many implements it, but like we did for Bleed as well. Like we had a particular manager, a talent manager, who also helped us in getting all this stuff done, and he also gets a cut out of it. So I mean, this is again a very good stream for revenue for orgs as well.
I feel like every org in India does this now after seeing 8-bit creative do it. I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, 8-bit creator are even making sure that the content has been done right. Like I think so. Recently, there was like, suddenly the people asking, "Oh, half of your streamers are laxing off," and like they were just like, "Fine, if you think we're laxing off, we're just gonna have a discussion with everybody and be like, hello, get back to your work." And suddenly, literally, I'm not even joking. Within a day of that, what quote unquote meeting which they had, suddenly half of the soul people are back on streams, just streaming, having discussions. So, and I'm like, okay, y'all know what y'all are doing. That firmness which y'all were talking, like getting in control and not being lenient, that has been done over here. But that now begs the question: now, can we see content create? Like you said, VLT was somewhat profitable over there.
I would like to add one more thing to
Please
the,
do.
uh, like you can say after the meeting they went streaming.
Yeah.
So if a organization is taking a cut from the creators,
Yeah.
the organization needs to fulfill this of like telling the creators to do certain amount of content or stuff for themselves too, and for, you can say, for the
I
I
mean,
mean, I
we
guess here the staff play comes in, right? Like if you
yeah.
have a talent manager or a creative director or someone to look into all this stuff, then usually you don't. The owner probably at least doesn't have to face all these issues because obviously they have staff to manage everything and be more statistical about everything, like how much revenue are we generating through someone, how much hours is the streamer streaming, what content is he making or whatever, right? So I guess this is a little bit of a staff play as well. Uh, so yeah, I mean that's I guess a point to be added in this specific scenario.
I mean, just talking about staff and stuff, how much do you feel is like, okay, so imagine we invest in staff. So how much of a long-term goal will this be? Because it's not going to be a short-term thing that I get XYZ creators, I make an org, I do content for 1 month and I'm going to be profit. That's not going to work. How much time do you all feel it's going to be this process? Like how many years will it take to be like, okay, we have created a brand value and we can have a name?
I mean, you can do that now in like a year or so. So there's no limitation to it. It's not going to take that long of a time.
yeah, it if
And these
you
roles that we're talking about, it's already been fulfilled in many of the orgs. But is it the execution and the I'd say like the quality is not there at the moment in a few of the teams, right?
yep.
So it's just dead weight paying salaries. That's all I would say.
But
Yeah,
then,
so this, like, there are a lot of orgs which have unnecessary amount of people working under them for a single role,
okay,
which Anna wanted to not have. So they were only, you can say, me
streamlining
and
it.
Euphoria for management. Euphoria usually used to manage the majority of things. I used to help him and also create and handle the content, social media, also help in brand and marketing and do the marketing itself.
Yeah.
And for the content team, we had only two people except me. One is Vaishnav, you might know, who used to edit, do the
Yeah.
3D, and also shoot the content.
Oh,
And
okay.
we had a designer who used to design everything. That's it.
So
So
like a very streamlined process. Oh yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
it had, sometimes it might cause, like, you can say, a lot of stress on us, but
obviously.
it was worth it because it gets you the experience you want.
But then why, like, serious pointed this out. We've got the people, we've got the creatives, we've got the numbers. And so why is the content in 9 out of, like, let's just be honest, 8 out of 10 organizations are not putting out content which they can put out. There's
Mhm.
output which can be done. They have the money, they have the equipment. Why do you feel the content is lacking then? Because I know for a matter of fact, I don't know if I should be naming this, but I think so. We brought this up during the podcast episode of Valorant when it was you and me, CS with Ominous and Godspeed. It was discussing about global esports deciding to know about teams from VCT champions, and you're like, why are you focusing there?
I mean,
Like,
that was, them exploring very heavily
yeah,
on unnecessary stuff.
But also they had to create content for Valorant, and they didn't during the main season, except
but
putting out 2 or 3 videos or voice comms.
come to think of it, during the whole franchise thing of Global, oh yeah, they did not make any docu-series of the whole event, right?
no, there was no
Nope.
documentary. There
Oh
was
shit, yeah, they missed out on the like legit one of the biggest content piece which every
Orangutan
org
did it.
does. Orangutan did, yeah, even Gods did it for CS. I don't remember.
Gosling
Yeah,
did for
got
CS.
good for
Revenant
CS.
did for
Uh,
CS. Gosling did it
I
for.
mean, this is the content piece that every org does. हम एलसीक्यू में हार रहे हैं तो भी ये कंटेंट पीस करेंगे
Yeah,
But
because
they have a
I
whole
felt
season
like
of franchise
there
ahead of
were
them.
a lot of missed opportunities with global esports in terms of content. So, due to which they diverted their part and did the know your team thing.
But I don't think that really worked out well in the favor, to be
it,
honest.
it
It didn't,
backfired. It
it
backfired
backfired.
Yeah, a lot of people got
hard.
angry because it's a spam, b unnecessary information. I mean, unnecessary in the sense that we don't need to know the same thing 10 times from 10 different sources. If
Yeah,
I'm opening a global esports social media account, I want to see what's up with global esports. I don't want to see what's up with fucking EDG or what's up with EG or
y-
whatever, whoever it
yeah,
is. You know.
True. I want to know what is happening with the players, how are playing
yeah.
players enjoying
You
themselves,
don't
euphoria or
see you don't
etc.
see Bleed का account खोल के कि they're posting about global esports,
Boom.
or you don't see EG का account खोल के they're posting about Sentinels or something, right?
Yeah.
That was happening with global. You open up their page at that specific time and you were watching, oh, let's get to know this player from I don't know, Evil
XYZ
Genesis or
team, yeah.
उसके बाद कुछ भी मतलब like there were like 10 different content pieces every fucking day to watch. It's nothing to do with global esports, and that this whole campaign just didn't work out. And if, as Pranay said, if only there was a monetary thing behind it,
Fair dues.
I don't know how that worked out, but I guess
Fair,
they made a bag out of it. But
fair
whatever.
dues, fair dues. If it's for the money, then fair dues. But I'll even like to add this. The only reason why we're breaking up global is because they have a production house. They have
I
a
mean, Global
global.
has resources for days, man. Global has
Yeah.
they have talented people. ऐसा
And
है मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि
like
Global नहीं
now
talented
I'll
है.
say one thing, and people might shame me for this, but I saw the recent content and I suddenly saw like, okay, there's a rise. There's just in production value, there's a rise. Like they're realizing, okay, these are certain angles we should be using. These are some opportunities. Like I was telling you this at BGIS, they were there till the very end and making content till the very end. Like be it anywhere, you could see one of the members going in left corner, the other one is going in right, and they're trying to get fans and trying to make content. Fair dues. Good job. Congratulations. You're making an opportunity and making the most out of it. But I think so, even at that point, there was like, fine, you're getting better, but it's not the best that you can do out because we see the video. Like, I'll say one thing. And the main criticism why it came was I remember that time they made a video for Crafton and it had a lot of content creators and the production was good. And at the same time, they did something for this, the Know Your Team. And you're just like, where is it going on? Where's your priority?
Yeah, it's
Like,
mixing a lot. Yeah. I mean, they did distribute content stuff on YouTube. I mean, that's for a while now. They have a Valorant channel separate. They have a BGMI channel separate. They have a main channel that's separate. I mean, some orgs do this on other socials. So let's say, for example, Cloud9, right?
yeah.
Cloud9 has a Valorant page. Cloud9 has a LOL page. Cloud9 has a blah blah blah. You know, they have 10 different pages for other games. But then again, you need a bigger social media team because you have so much things to handle. I know Porty, he can't handle. He's a senior social media manager right now, so I mean he definitely oversees everything at C9. But again, there has to be like a team under him working on all the other platforms that they have created.
I mean, then it makes me want to ask this. And now we talked about the organizations, the sponsors. And this is where I want to know how does it actually work? Because I know for a matter of fact, each sponsor has their own way of dealing with things. So some people are like, yeah, we will give you XYZ, but you like for normal Instagram influencers also, which I've talked to and content creators, for them, the organization, like, yeah, we'll send you this clothes. It's free of cost. Keep it with you, but just take a video and reel out of it. That is it. There's no monetary thing. So do we have the same system in esports or it's completely different?
Oh yeah, of course. Like for example, again, I'm taking the same thing. Secret Labs, they didn't pay us anything. They gave us a shit ton of chairs though. Our whole boot camp, it was Secret Labs chair. Players took each chair home. So like
Wow.
discounted like 5 chairs, 6 chairs boot camp. Oh no, seven, eight, probably 8 chairs in boot camp. Each player took a chair home, but 10 chairs they're gone. Then scary crazy guy, they both got any chair they wanted. So they both took I think 2 chairs each. एक, one of them was the Valorant edition. So there was no money exchange. There was just simple barter, right? They wanted promotion, we wanted chairs. That's it.
In some case, I feel like in India nowadays creators are more like you can say tilted towards getting a monetary value out of it. There are a lot of barter deals which goes on, but big brands or big organization or big creators tend to do it in monetary terms because barter deals they feel like what the creators feel like are not worth it.
As in? And why do you feel
Like
so? Like
because if they are doing a, for example, they are doing a deal for XYZ creator charges 50K, for example, 1 lakh for a reel, right?
okay,
And if Sony comes to the creator, to the XYZ creator, right, and says, Ki, I'll give you a PS5, you make a drill out of it.
okay,
For the creator, for the creator, XYZ creator, the PS5 is worth 50K.
yeah,
He usually charges 1 lakh for, you
okay.
can say, a reel.
A reel.
Feels like that the he's getting underpaid for it. So a lot of creators tend to do no barter deal
Yeah.
and just
Hmm.
focus more on monetary.
I mean, that's fair, I guess. It's money that, feeds you, not the fucking product.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, it makes sense because imagine if you can get paid for a mic as a streamer. Like, okay, fine, one part of my equipment is done. You get paid for a chair, that's another part of your equipment done.
I mean,
and then
again, like one more thing, like once a creator gets big enough, then there's another play that comes in, that's a talent agency, right? Talent
Hmm,
agency is not gonna cut your PS5 in half and be like, "ये मेरा इतना part है." You
Yeah,
know,
true.
they're gonna need a part of your actual Rokada cash money, right? So
ah,
again, that play also comes in at that point, and again, it's easier for the creator, um, because again, there's not much the creator has to do except for creating, of course.
content.
All the negotiations, everything is now done by your manager. So you don't have to worry about all that stuff. You just have to approve what he says.
Yep, can agree.
Now
I mean,
you don't have to spend like 5 hours a day looking for emails. किसको mail करूँ, किसको पूछूँ, right? You
yeah,
don't have to like spend so much time in connecting to people. Whether you have a manager to do all that stuff for you.
Yep,
someday,
that's what the creative agencies, you
Yeah,
can say the management agencies take a cut for, I feel like
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah. I mean,
And they
even in
should,
like esports players, were like not in India. I mean, we were talking about this record right a few days back.
yeah,
In India, there's not many agencies representing
players,
players. But if you look outside, like Prodigy and all these guys, are loaded Prodigy, Proxy, whatever.
big time.
if
Players
no, 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 no.
also are. Huh.
I would say in India,
Uh-huh.
the players are represented more from 8-bit creatives or alpha Zegas rather than from a company like Prodigy, because they players feel like they are much better equipped if they have more brands behind them rather than they can like what Prodigy does is they look over all the contract stuff for the organization they are joining, and
Those guys are not hunting for deals per se. But 8-bit is someone who's actually hunting for better brand deals. So
Yeah,
again, that may be a little bit of a differentiator.
yeah, might be.
but then that begs a question, right? Then there's a monopoly and stuff, and like then we even talked about this series about how does a player then feel valued, because if 8-bit is the only agency which or Alpha Zegas. Wait, Alpha Zegas have players under them? I've only seen content creators. I have not
I
seen
don't think
players.
so.
I
They
don't.
have Excali and they a lot of creators are under them. They are just not announced it.
Oh,
They have kept it like they
I mean,
have creators under them.
there is representation, but maybe just not announced or out there.
Yeah.
so okay, they're getting it sorted then. Okay, that's interesting to know because I
No, players don't want to get announced by any kind of a talent management agency because it cuts down their opportunity of getting
Yeah.
a deal from a different talent agency too.
But it's actually the opposite for creators. Creators do want to get announced because it boosts their value because they're represented by someone.
wait.
I
Explain me
just feel like that's how it works.
why esports players do you feel will not announce that they are under a wait? Just explain me over here. Why so?
I think opportunities do cut out. So,
Yep.
in my opinion, like as a esports player, okay, let me take example. Let's say I'm a Australian player.
Hmm.
Okay, this might be too obvious who I'm talking about, but never mind.
Fine. Take in New
Let's
Zealand. Make in New Zealand.
well, never mind. Okay, let's say I'm an Australian player, right, and I'm
Okay.
represented by an agency, like a good agency. Those guys will only refer me to teams, let's say in Korea or somewhere. But let's say if I wanna go to China or something, and the agency don't have connections there, it's just gonna limit my opportunities out. That's basically how if the agency doesn't have connections, if the agency cannot get me into a certain region that I want to play in, that just limits my opportunities by 20-30%.
And
Yep.
then
True.
okay, so it's like okay, fine. That does make sense. I
And
mean,
I
in a
know
way,
players right now who want to play in China, or let's just say China,
China.
but just that their agency cannot get them a tryout or cannot connect them. That's all. And the player is stuck because the player did not make a brand out of himself in the first place. So now he's totally dependent on the agency. कि तुम लोग को ही करो, I can't do anything by my own.
I mean, that then brings about a thing about we were talking about this. Now people don't realize that they are a brand as well. Then, like that is now working out in their favor. Then that means there has to
I mean,
be.
once you retire from esports, this is again the point that many people have said, right? Once you retire from esports, when you stop playing, what will you do? You become a coach, become backend member of a team,
Yeah,
or if you want to keep playing, you become a streamer. You need to create a brand out of yourself as well.
I mean that's I
I
think so. What SK Rossi has done Well, I would say he's done well to put a
I
name.
I don't know if Escalasi might become a coach or not. That is a little bit hard to imagine. But a perfect example would be Bhavin Bhai Papaji, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
He's very very connected to his community. He's very active. He's
yeah.
opinionative. He's very into the whole gaming industry. And once he stopped playing, which is sad to see. Honestly, I would love to see Hellranger back into action.
Same.
But again, when he decides not to play, he has a very good path. He could even become a very very good coach,
Yeah.
a very good coach analyst. He can become a good, and but now he's found an opportunity to become like a AGM at Global, which is again a very good opportunity and a very valuable opportunity for him as well.
I mean,
yep.
exactly. I mean, no, I was talking about Rossi over here because of the name value, because I expected Rossi to be somebody who will actually get sponsors, like, will be the first Indian athlete in India, like an esport, like in Valorant esports, to have like a big, like, sponsorship or like a name tag to him. But sadly, the only name which is tagged to him is Global Esports, which is now is gone.
I mean, honestly, if I'm not talking about, okay, don't take scale into this comparison, but how I would imagine Rossi being is somewhat related to what Tens have done with his brand.
Okay.
And I think he can very much replicate that same thing with his audience, because I just feel like they both have some sort of a similar persona, and and I think it really can be replicated with Rossi. Sadly, he is very much known and connected. Still is connected with global esports. Whenever you think Rossi, you think global esports right now.
Yeah.
I know, and I think
And
for a
vice
long time,
versa.
the name of global will be connected to Rossi. So he really needs to replicate something, so to build a brand out of himself.
Pranay, what do you feel?
I feel like SK Rossi, I would totally agree with Sirius on this. Like SK Rossi can totally replicate what Tens has done in the, you can say, in the NA scene. Like in terms of his brand value,
Yeah.
he's one of the most known, or he's one of the biggest players in terms of brand value. I would say he easily gets millions of views if he does any kind of even brand deals.
Yeah.
In India, if somebody is doing a brand deal, it is expected to get less views or less stuff. But in terms of 10, it is always in terms of higher, higher, and higher,
Yeah,
because he
and
has built a brand value, brand around him like that itself.
when Tens did take a break from playing, that was with
La-
Sentinels only, right?
yeah,
So
he's always been
Cloud9.
with Sentinel. No, he took up.
Cloud9.
no, he's been to Cloud9 before.
No, he's been
Oh
in
no, when he
Cloud
took a
Nine.
break at Cloud9, sorry.
He took up.
Yeah,
He
he,
went into content creation in Cloud Nine. Yeah,
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 he was in. Yeah, so he was playing CS with Cloud9. He took a
yeah,
break. Then he actually thought, "Ki, okay, fuck it, I actually have to build something for myself."
yeah,
And if you remember correctly, uh, the whole Tench creating a brand out of himself during that time when he was a bench player for C9,
yeah.
that was a very big factor when the whole buyout for Sentinels was happening,
Exactly. Yeah, I remember that.
because that boosted his value on his contract as a player because of his creation and his brand building. It
Obviously.
boosted his value to a very very high number,
Yeah.
and that became a whole debate at that time. But again, that's something similar to what Rossi can do, right? Even though I don't know if he's gonna play or not, even though I know what's happening. But again, if he decides to play or not, he can very much build a good brand in this, off time for himself. And whenever he decides to come back into it, the contract value he will have is going to be much much higher.
yep.
But
Can
the,
agree 110%.
This is
Can't agree more.
exactly happening with Scary, with Crazy Guy, Yay, because the brand value is so high for Scary. Dude, that dude brings the whole Thailand with him. You saw what happened at Ascension, right?
yeah,
And seeing the numbers when you post anything about Scary is just a rise up, man.
yeah.
Because the whole community is like, oh, Skelly. Everyone is like that. What the fuck, man? And this is exactly what SK can also do.
He can
He
do.
can do it, but
Yeah,
I feel like he needs like a proper agency, like what
Uh,
Tens has, who manage his
Yeah,
content.
Tens ke paas he has got what, like the clickbait guys, right?
Yeah,
They are doing all the media and the
yep.
videos. Even same for Shazam, for Tarek, Tens,
He
for
needs
fun. I
this.
don't
I
remember.
feel like he needs the same kind
Yeah,
of a thing for himself. If he wanna create he wanna create a brand value like him,
yeah.
like
Pranay,
Tens.
And I mean,
you.
If you
Uh,
think about it, it's not Tens himself who is fucking
yeah,
editing the videos like late at night,
obviously.
right? It's his agency is doing it. He's just playing the game. That's one job that he has to do.
And I think so. I
Uh,
wanted to get to this. Y'all brought on to this part because y'all talked about he can. And I want to get to why, how do you feel it's not happened till now or what has gone wrong? And now for the future, how can he build on? Because now he's got, like, let's just be honest, now he's put an LFT. He's got time. Ideally, if we were or somebody's like, okay, I have to create a brand, stream. Keep yourself
No,
relevant.
it's not just him.
No, I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
I think
one way,
up until
but just help me
now,
out.
I mean, up until now, I think it was much global that was also kind of restricting him because again, he had to perform, he had to, do a lot of things with global as well in the team.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with Sentinels, even with Tens with Sentinels, even with any other, even with Scary at Bleed, everyone is also working on their own brand, right? And it's not hard to do it. You just have to put extra bit of effort.
and I would say there aren't any companies in India who do the same job as clickbait or anything in India as of now.
You have to just
And
hire freelancers mostly to just do
they
work.
like the player, I would say the players doesn't have time to find a freelancer who can do this stuff for you,
And
nor
maybe
and
Org can jump in and become like an agency for a player. I don't
they
know. That's maybe something
can, but I feel
we
like they
don't.
don't
Xavier.
see an opportunity as of now.
Yeah.
But it has a big terms, big opportunity in terms of monetary and in terms of, you
Yeah.
can say,
I mean,
brand building.
it's just a gap in the market at the moment
Yep.
in South Asia.
Yep.
I don't know who's gonna fill it. It's not gonna be me. I don't know who's gonna be fill it. It's not me.
Pranay, Serious, and Dracorex say get onto the
It's
call
a
and
it's a very hectic thing to manage, man.
obviously
It's
because
not
you
an
have to
easy thing. It's a very hectic thing to manage, and you need good backing. You need quite a
bit.
multitasking workforce as well.
You'll need an
And
entire
this
thing.
is a gap in the market that someone needs to fill. And if not, then players just need to figure out something for themselves to get their shit together and start creating a brand out of themselves.
Because
Yep.
I'll add to this that in the past when there was no esports org, but there were gamers, there were YouTubers. We remember for a matter of fact that I'll give an example. Y'all talk about Sidemen. There's this one guy named Vixter. This guy,
Hmm.
if you'll do you all know about his routine, by the way, back in 2015 or 16? Have you
Yep.
heard?
Yep.
You
Yep.
know how bad it was, right? He used to
I
upload
know.
every. Listen to this. He had 3 channels. He uploaded a video or 2 videos minimum per day on his channel. He records it, he edits it, and he uploads it on his own. And he's doing a thing where he's sleeping during the day, like sleeping during the day and working during the night. Why? Because his friends are in Australia, so that they can make content together on Minecraft. And that was like another thing. He had people in UK and this. And that was a grind which I remember as a kid I saw and I was like, what on earth is going on? This is now he obviously they all have a production team and stuff like that. But
But it also paid off in the end, right? Like
Yeah.
now it's paying off to him.
yeah, big time.
It's, this grind is probably for a year or so. Then he's just
Oh no, that this
he
was
put
for
in
much
effort.
no. It was not for a year, it was a good 5 years,
I mean,
I'm telling.
in terms of
Yeah,
Rossi, right? Rossi already has a good name out
yeah.
of him. If he does this for let's say a year and a half, dude, he's on a roll.
I mean
So
Rossi.
if I am just putting it out there, if Rossi does this correctly for even 6 months, I'm pretty sure he can build a fucking huge brand value for himself. A fucking huge.
Like इसका example can be nothing as well. Sorry, not nothing. My bad. Something. He just
Something.
got a
Yeah.
deal with Kick as well.
Yeah.
And dude even doesn't even show like his face half the time. Like what the fuck?
I mean, that is the opportunity which is there. And that is what I wanted to even bring out because there is opportunity in the market. And it's not like, oh, it's tougher here. Okay. 10 years ago, if you told India didn't have the technology, fine. We didn't have 4G. We didn't have internet. We didn't have good PCs. And the import and export used to cost a lot to get good laptops over here. Now it is possible to make like a good example of a content creator who's working on a goddamn laptop and editing stuff is that what's his name? I always is it Zach or Zed? The guy who made like KSI clips. What's his name? I always get it. Who's now in Mumbai?
That
Zed,
Zazi.
Zed, Zed. Yeah, he has a laptop and he's just working on the laptop. He doesn't have a good setup. But that guy is just making he's making one day in Vietnam, one day in Thailand, one day in India, one day in Mumbai. And it's getting numbers. It's just that he has a personality there. And this brings on to my next and a very important thing. Do you feel players are lacking personality to show on camera? Because my God, that is something which I want you all to express about.
I would say if we are talking about on camera, they don't talk about much, but if the camera is turned off,
Yeah.
they are a different person and they have a lot of personality.
Yep.
Then why not show it on camera? That's my next question. Like, why?
I
Like,
think
I mean,
maybe there's like, these so-called rules. I would say, especially when you think of like streaming or something, when you look at how streaming is done, these so-called gurus of streamers, they say, oh, you have to keep interacting with the chat, and kuch na kuch topic छेड़ते रहो, बात करते रहो. I mean, I guess it's okay for just setting streamer or someone, but if you're a player, right, even if you're just chill and you're playing your game, I don't think that's anything bad, right? You can always do that and just show yourself. Though no need to be a character on stream.
Renee?
Yep. I would feel like this is kind of true and kind of like if we are talking about in India, like the players have a you can say a thing in their mind, like if they have to interact with their chat constantly. But if you are taking an example of Forsaken, he doesn't interact with the chat
No.
much, but he gets the watching just because he likes to enjoy the game and you can say show his personality in game itself.
Yeah, and same with Jing. I mean, Jing's mom talks on stream more than Jing does.
Yep.
I mean, that's a nice thing to know. I mean, I don't watch Jing streams, so apologies on that. I try. I am not much into content creators. Also, a kid who was into YouTubers. That's
Jing
a.
is a player.
I know Jing is a player. I know he plays for Paper Rex. Okay, please have mercy upon me.
He
And
doesn't play for Paper X now.
anymore,
Yeah, he
anymore.
just
He's going
reserved.
to the army. I feel bad for him, but yeah.
He's not going to the army now. उसका नहीं है अभी.
अब क्या?
अभी confirm नहीं है उसका army का.
I mean,
He
okay,
will
fine.
go somewhere.
Yeah,
In
that
future.
was the thing which was told. So, I mean, there's something which I would like to point out over here because there's something which happened today. And I want to know your opinions on this. Okay, so there's a streamer named Sakshi. Okay, she is
Hmm.
from Godlike. And this is something which I was watching her because I knew we were going to record this episode. I was just looking at a live stream and how the numbers are increasing. Okay. So, when she was just talking or just having a discussion with her fans, it was at 180 viewers, concurrent viewers. When she started reacting to godlike content, it became to 200 to 300. The minute she started, she went on BGMI and she started playing and opening crates, it hit 1.5, 1.5K, 2K. And that is where I was like, okay, so you're telling me that players have to just play, and you might make a lot of numbers. Numbers.
I
So, I
mean,
mean,
did you see Tens streamed on YouTube for the first time yesterday or day before?
I didn't see it.
Because of the
Educate me.
kick, because Twitch now allows you to multi-stream on
Yeah,
YouTube as well, right?
yeah.
So he streamed on YouTube a few days back. He had 75K concurrent views. First stream.
I mean,
I
that
mean,
is
bro
10.
doesn't even get this many views on Twitch.
No, on Twitch, you're not going to get.
And majorly it was Indian audience itself. I was seeing the chat, it was every fucking person was Indian in that chat. Everyone.
I mean, no, that's the thing. Like, somebody had pointed this out, and he said very well. YouTube is pre-installed on all phones. Twitch is not. So, if you want to see live stream, you're going to go to YouTube. This is the number one thing. Half of the people don't know what Twitch is, which fair dues. If you still don't, I'm surprised. But point being is that Twitch is there. YouTube is the go-to one. So the numbers are higher in YouTube, and on Twitch you get more like your
I mean, honestly, like multi-streaming is probably the way to go
yeah.
for streamers in future. And like I've seen like Indian streamers as well now, they're kind of like giving
So,
attention to Twitch.
yeah.
Like Raka already started streaming, Sick Warrior does stream,
Uh,
Ankit Punch
Ankit
streams,
Pant as well. Yeah.
or Kon Dekha Main recently, I don't remember, but yeah, I mean there are a T-Bone stream sometimes. I don't think I've seen Fatu streaming on Twitch, but
He
yeah,
has
and
been streamed on Twitch, but I
uh,
feel like the creators are streaming on Twitch because they don't have a deal with any
I
other
mean if you
of
don't
the.
have a deal, if you don't have an exclusive deal, tab to, I think streaming like multi-platform streaming is probably the way to go. But again, if you have a deal like Courage and all, Courage, Valkyrie, these guys have exclusive
Y'all,
stream deals, right? So they probably just they can't
y'all brought
make it
on a
easy.
very interesting topic which I completely forgot about, which was exclusive like streaming deals. And we have two organizations in India, which is Loco and Router. Now I
But they
have
have
never.
stopped, right?
No, they're what? No, they're working. What the heck?
No, I mean they have stopped offering exclusive deals, right?
And
They
I
have
know,
stopped offering of exclusive deals for to the creators.
as
They
in,
are still sponsoring the TOs
okay.
वो तो अच्छा, अभी क्या बोलूं यार मैं. That's
let
all so fucking fuck all. I think most people can agree they just download Router to watch tournament and then delete it.
But that
if
helps
I
the
am
number,
being
no?
very honest, I have done this every time I wanted
Yeah.
to watch a tournament.
Same here.
Probably the last time I opened Loco, downloaded Loco. Oh no. Yes, that was for VCL. That's it. And just because उस पे वो interviews वगैरह show कर रहे थे not on YouTube, that's why I had to watch it.
I mean, no, that's the thing. Like these apps are there, and even they are like another thing to get into because they're there, they're present, but they are not making the most of the situation. The monopoly that they I don't know how was it before when they were having people who are exclusively signed to them. How was it back then? Like, was it helpful for the content creators or it
I
wasn't?
don't
Like, you
think
all
it
might
was
know.
like 100% exclusivity. I'm not sure about this here. Probably Pranay
Renee?
knows better. But
I would feel like the streaming platforms used to have a contract of you have to stream this much amount of hours on their platform.
Okay.
You can you have to stream exclusively on their platform for this much amount of
uh,
hours in a single month. That's how their deal used to go uh, at that time when they were to offer.
yeah, but there's no MG on the contracts.
MG as
Yeah,
in?
there's no MG on minimum guarantee.
Okay.
So there's no MG for. I can be wrong here. Maybe for some, I don't know. But there is no MG for exclusive creators when they were offering exclusivity deals. It was again, as Pranay said, more based on hours, how many hours you stream.
No, they had minimum guarantee on their contracts.
Maybe I mean, we know like maybe bigger ones have, but definitely not the
No, no,
smaller ones.
everybody who was signed exclusively had a MG
They
on their
they
contract.
had a minimum guarantee. Oh, then
Yep.
it's probably good, I guess.
Okay.
MG plus you get money from subs and all. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
good, man.
Yep.
Okay, so now when we're coming towards the end, now we have talked about content creation and stuff like that. Now I want to know this. We are going to take two hypothetical situations and we're going to create how do y'all feel we should go forward. We first talk about an organization who wants to now create, they're like, okay, we want to start up building a content creation team, like a team and playing for, and they have a plan for the next 2 years to make content left, right, and center around India. Like imagine they want to travel in India and go around Southeast Asia. What do you feel would be the step by step process for this? Like, what do you all feel would be like the first, and then how will you continue with that? Now we're talking about an organization and like the team. So, what do you all feel?
I feel like
Well,
CJ should start this.
Yeah, go for it, serious.
okay, okay. Let me get the question straight. So I'm working for an org. The
Yeah,
idea is that we have to make content around Southeast Asia and South Asia and have built a team of creators. Right? That's
no.
correct, right?
So no, so yeah, so you're allowed to travel around Southeast Asia, Asia. Like in short, you're allowed to travel in like close by countries or inside the country
Uh
itself to create content. You're getting that
huh.
freedom, and you are also given like, hey, look, I want to make a team. I want to have a team who's handling with the. You've got full free reign as well as content creators. How would you proceed forward?
Uh, I have full flexibility. That seems like a dream, man. But again,
So,
uh, uh, okay. I think first steps would obviously be to have a backend team ready and design a campaign.
okay.
How long? First thing I probably is how long do I want to run it? Because otherwise this thing can go on for fucking years, right? एक साल तक we are just traveling. So
Yeah.
let's just take 3 months quarterly. Let's just say for first 3 months how this thing goes, and then we'll come back to it and maybe move on. Take it now. So when you have the time frame, you have the team ready. Now comes the budget. If the organization already has invested into equipment and everything, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, there has to be a minimum budget. Okay, we need to get this specific stuff
Okay.
according to the format of whatever we are gonna shoot. उसके बाद आ गए your creators who is gonna be the host for whatever content you're gonna make.
Yeah.
So again, I think this is pretty decent for me on the steps that whatever we wanna fulfill or whatever. And uh, obviously what content you're going to shoot. So there has to be a creative team, including the discussion, so you know what you're actually going to do.
Who's
It
gonna be
can be a
part? Like
fucking food show.
what roles are you gonna have in this content creation? Because we talked about the team. So what do you feel are the crucial rules that have to be
If
there?
you're keeping the team very very small, I
It's
would probably
your
have.
role. Go for it. You have full reign.
Okay, again, I'll just say like small and big both.
Okay.
So if we're keeping a team very small, I would probably have a producer, on ground stuff that includes your videographer,
Hmm.
and maybe someone who can help him, maybe like a videographer and maybe like two videographers. I guess that's fine, right?
Okay.
Depending on whatever we're gonna shoot. Have a producer and a CD with you, creative director, who can also act as your talent manager. This is like for a very small production. That should be
Okay.
enough. Taken us. So you cover your bases like management, you cover your logistics, you cover your shoots, and you cover your management, like whatever equipment management you have. You covered everything here.
Yeah.
If you have a bigger team, then obviously there can be backend support for it. So let's say you're doing all your stuff on site and you're sending everything back. So the post processing part of it is also going hand by hand. So you don't have to wait after 3 months to see the results of it. Everything
Okay.
is going on the spot. It speeds up the process. It gets you better return, but it's obviously a little bit heavy on investment. That's pretty much it. Again, the format of the show can be anything. Like you can probably take two creators. Oh, this is something that Curly Tails does, right? Something similar.
Yeah.
So they just take creators, go to different cities,
I
whosoever is local, get them out
yeah.
there, and fucking do food. You can do sightseeing. You can do anything you want. You can probably go like on a gaming tour. You
Yeah.
know,
I give the flexibility of like traveling around because I saw like these creators like who was it? It was some of the content creators had gone to Bali and they made like good and like they made vlogs and stuff from it. So that's why the idea of like, you know what, give those the freedom. So Pranay, how would you do it? Because you have worked even for like you have properly gone in depth. So what would you do if you had full creative freedom?
So if I had the creative freedom of doing this kind of stuff, so firstly I would like same as serious. I would firstly set up a whole like a backend team who can handle everything, which consists of videographers and stuff.
Okay.
Secondly, I would focus more on the creators part of things, on which creator we feel like will be needed if we are planning, like before hiring creators, we plan what all content series we have to do and hire creators according to the, you can say, the series we need to do.
Hmm.
So if we have decided, if we have hired everything properly and if we have done it, you can say, according to the plan, I
Yeah.
feel like we can get it uh, done in a small team of backend staff too. So in terms, I feel like serious level is
Yes, that.
serious back.
yeah, yeah.
He's
Just
always here. Yeah.
No, he
I
left the
got
VC.
my ping
Wow.
went zero.
So
Oh. But you were saying Pranay.
yeah, so I was saying we can get this done in a small amount of people too, with a videographer and a guy who is handling the production and a creative direction too, like a talent manager. So it can
Okay.
be done in a team of three people too if we
Do it right.
wanted, and if we have the infinite budget, we can have two, three videographers following you around, a producer, a creative director, a sound guy. So, like a whole
Just
big thing if we
big
have a
the
budget.
big
Then so
one.
it's all about scale. Then
Yeah,
Scale upon.
you can
Yeah.
hire fucking 20 people to do whatever you
Obviously, it's
want.
like
yeah,
If it's infinite budget.
bodyguards and stuff. Yeah.
bodyguards. I don't think so in India. Do we need body? I don't think so. Have you needed bodyguards? I mean,
But if you
I
take people like Kadaminati or Bhuvan Bam, you always need
ha,
bodyguards.
for
Bro,
they
I
are
would
the
tell you a story about this bodyguards thing. Okay,
go for it.
so during the TEC Arena Bangalore, the Bangalore TEC Arena where Enigma Gaming won the event.
Okay, yeah,
Mm.
2021.
So SATL creators were there, right?
Okay.
So the second day of the event, so I was entering, like with Ankita C, I was entering the venue.
Hmm.
Like just we were at the main metal gate of the, you can say, the arena
Yeah.
where they park the cars and stuff.
Okay.
People crowded Ankita C so much, I had to get her out of the crowd. I became her bodyguard
Ooh.
You're
and
the
I
bodyguard.
and we
Okay.
had to get into the, you can say, the
Back door.
stadium, and people were, no, there wasn't any backdoor in the event.
Okay.
And
Damn.
TEC didn't, I feel like they didn't think this through or something. So
Yeah,
me
security on
and
base.
one or two TEC admins, we surrounded her so that people don't crowd her and she can actually get to the VIP
Damn.
stage.
And I think she's quite small, right? So it's very
Yeah.
important for her to be safe.
And
I mean, she's
so
not
on the,
someone who can probably stick up in a crowd. Like she probably gets smashed in it.
yeah, and on the third day, they had 5 or 6 bodyguards per creator for that
Damn.
day,
Wow.
And that's the
because of
influence,
the
man.
audience.
Insane.
There were a whole lot of audience, man. I was getting pushed from the players. I
What?
was
What's it?
shooting content. I was getting pushed
This was at
back from
the.
the players because they had to click photos with the players.
Okay. Okay, understood. Okay, now I mean, we saw the SA12 fest which happened, and fair dues. That was like like what I heard on ground was like it was very well done and stuff. So I think so you need bodyguards and whatnot, and I think so that is it. And now if you have to like we talked about
Yeah,
an organization
security is quite important.
that
I
it
agree.
is. I remember in BGIS what happened was like they literally who was it? Ghatak had come and his car was there, and he first of all drove a bit rash. So okay, the first of all the ground shaked. I don't know how did he drive, how much power did he have in his Thar, but the four-wheel drive, it literally it shaked. We're like, what the heck is happening? He was I think around 80 kilometers inside the venue. Parks the car's fully surrounded by people. Fully. He cannot walk around, suddenly security is coming, trying to get him through, give him the ID badge, and like, oh yeah, aane do. But I mean that's another story for another day. And BGIS, we all know what happened. So sorry for you, Pranay, that you couldn't get in. Hota
Bro,
hai. If
BJ, bro, I can't even, if I speak about BJs, I am in big trouble.
I
I
I mean
can't.
I mean, I got into it and I did Kandi myself. And yeah, let's just say we had to get our ways through. Like, finger was like this, you had to literally bend it and then like to get inside the arena. Not
That
a
is
good
so sad.
experience.
I mean, there's never a crowd for SCA players. Even I'm just imagining everything. I believe
It-
like if Ye goes to fucking let's say Ascension or something, right? I don't think there will be a crowd, but there'll be a civilized line to take pictures.
Obviously, dude.
There'll be that for sure.
I mean, that's the only thing which you can. I mean,
Unless you
even
have someone from BTS coming into fucking some SG or somewhere. There, I don't think there will be a crowd.
so, I'll tell you this one thing which I realized was when we and you brought about crowds, and this is very interesting. I know we are like going. It's like by the way, it's like 11:30 in the night, and I can understand. So I'll just try to end this off and we get because there's two. There's going to be another point over here. When Global did a meet and greet in Mumbai, the recent one, there was like so minimum crowd that Roshi was just standing in one corner. People just talked to him, hi, yeah, hi, hello. And that was it. Like nobody surrounded him and it was like suddenly a fan base coming and like rushing him. No, it was like, hi, yeah, chill, okay, cool. And there were quite a few people, but it was like I realized at that point that this man, while obviously he has the name and the value, he have to build a brand. Until now, he's not got like like I know when I saw Mortal not Immortal. Who was it? I was talking to Kamaljeet, and suddenly people are from the in BJS are like literally shouting his name from like Kamaljeet, photo paji, and I'm like, oh, okay. I don't like, damn, you're famous. Like, okay, good for you, man. But no, I mean, we talk about this. So now we talked about the organization. Now, for a player, if you were to make them a brand, what would you be doing content wise? Like, what do you feel? As an take Rossi as an example. If you were given creative control to make sure Rossi is a brand, what would you start with? Serious.
Actually, I would ask him how much, I'll give him my quote that how much I charge for all this stuff. Because again, that's very important. I have to eat as well.
Oh, obviously, I'm telling
But
you, no, I'm telling you,
no, no, jokes aside. But yeah, I mean, there has to be some sort of a time frame, which I believe is very important in any campaign that you run, right? There has to be some sort of a time frame. Uh, let's just say 3 months again or 6 months. Let's just say in case of
yeah.
Rossi, right? How he wants to take an approach. Does he want to replicate what Tens did, or does he want to take a different approach with how he wants to do more offline content? Does he want to take more of a gaming? Does he want to like do gaming stuff on his channel?
Mhm.
Does he want to go that way? Does he want to do lifestyle stuff? So there's a lot of things to explore, and it depends on Rossi as well on how he wants to portray himself for the future. If he wants to become someone like Ankit Pant, who got very much into lifestyle, going into events, being a media personality, being an influencer, then there's a different plan to do that. If he wants to, replicate something what Tens did, that is more, you know, streaming, then offline. There's a lot of like video content out there. Then there's gameplay stuff. There's an approach for that as well. So I guess it really depends on what Rossi wants to do, and there will be a timeline. Okay, so let's say, okay, what will the results for this 6 months,
Hmm.
and how we performed, and how we can make it better and actually grow 10 times of what we did in
Take
past 6 months or
challengers.
whatever.
Take like if we have to do it during challengers, like the two splits of challengers. If he's in challengers, that is.
Mhm.
So would you
This is
feel like
something I think. Okay, I'll take example of Carrigan, Counter Strike.
okay?
So Carrigan is traveling with Phase, everything, right? But he himself is putting efforts into creating content like vlogs. He's doing behind the scenes, which is very very interesting. He's doing in-game comms, which is again very interesting. And to see things from a player's point of view is definitely something which org doesn't do. I don't know, so you
Hmm.
can always obviously do all these things, and I think challenges maybe you can very much explore these things. For example, let's say Tix and Autumn, the imports for God's Rain, right? I
Yeah.
think there was a very good opportunity what God's Rain could have done with them. Uh, Not sure how open Godspeed was to do content with the players, but again, there's always a middle ground to do it, and there was a very good opportunity. And something similar, if Rossi let's say was playing in challenges, he could have done in the similar fashion.
I mean, yeah, maybe something like that. Pranay, what do you feel? What would your be your take on this?
I feel like what Serious said, I would do the same. I feel like because
Dot.
that's the only way I feel like which can ultimately help the player, like
Hmm.
Esperossi. Because if he has a different plan for his future, and if we do something else, it will ultimately be a disastrous situation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, fair
And
dues,
if we are
man.
talking about VCL,
Hmm.
like what Carrigan did during the CSGO when he was traveling with FaZe.
Yeah.
So the same was done by EC1S when he was in
Oh
VLT. He
yeah,
used
he
to
did as well.
do
Yes,
Oh yeah,
vlogs
he
and
did
stuff.
vlogs and videos. Yeah, I remember.
but I think he was not really consistent. I believe like ek do vlogs डाले थे उसने, right?
He put down 5 to 8 vlogs if I'm not wrong.
And he did live streams as
Really?
well. I remember.
He did a lot of
Five
live
to
streams. He created a lot of content which helped him to gather more of an Indian audience for him, I feel
mm,
like.
Yeah.
Which he did was correct if we are talking about creating a brand value, which if SK Rossi was playing in challenge, he could have done.
yeah. I mean, if Rossi wants to become an analyst in future or maybe a talent for desk, I mean, I think a good approach will be what Sean Garris did or
Yeah.
nothing did, right?
Yep.
Professional players turned casters turned analysts turned desk analysts, whatever, जो भी वो भी लोग कर रहे हैं. Sean though, I mean, he turned into a full on management person now, but he was doing desk analyst for VCT before. He was obviously doing Counter Strike stuff. Same with nothing, right? He was doing Valorant promotional stuff. He was doing work. He was working with Riot on some stuff as well. So again, that's something you can. That's an approach you can always take. And there's always lifestyle stuff. What Ankit Pant used to do, right? Going
Yeah.
into events, being a more of an influencer, a role model. You can always do that. Uh, There's ways to explore on how you want to brand yourself. You can obviously do multiple things as well. It's not like you have to do one thing, but it has to be planned correctly, and there has to be like a sample phase, sample time of 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, whatever you want, and work on it so you can 10x, 20x your growth or whatever.
I
Yep.
Yeah,
mean,
that's it, man.
yeah, that would be a very nice way. I think so. For people who have come to the end, I know a little bit of turmoil with the cameras and stuff, but I mean, concluding this, I mean, I'm just happy that we could have this conversation because I feel like people, let's just be honest, we work in the back end. Sirius has been in the team, Pranay has been with the team. I have been handling with journalism and I have to see like, or media or whatever you want to call me at this point. And we see it from another perspective. And I see it previously as a fan and be like, oh, these content creators are doing this X, Y, Z. But then you don't realize how big or how important because you can see these people asking, when are you going to stream again? When are you going to stream again? When are you going to do this? When are you going to which event? This event, that event, that event. And you see like the curiosity and the urge is there. There is a spark. Like people are being asked, are you coming to this event? Because people want to meet them. People want to greet them. People want to be one with the content creator. And you have an opportunity. But I feel like now because COVID is over and people can travel a bit more, that opportunity is now being used in a good way. I feel like it's being used, the people are being more understanding. Because we'll take an example, Shriman. I don't know if you all know what happened in the mall. Do you all know about
Yep.
this?
Yep, I know, I know.
Says, do you know about what happened?
What?
So this one creator, oh, Pranay, you want to tell? You can tell it.
Yeah, so you might know the creator Shriman Legend. He's a big creator who is
Okay, okay.
famous for like famous between Marathi people and
Yeah,
Marathi people. So
Maharashtrians.
he did a meetup in Pune in a mall.
I don't know
Okay.
Pune, it was Navi Mumbai, but yeah.
No, he also did in Pune
Ah,
once.
yeah, Pune was once
So it
and Navi
was
Mumbai. Yeah.
yeah. So when he did in Pune, right? So there were around 8 or 10,000 people in the mall waiting to meet him, and they destroy when the security tried to get him out. It tried to get him in a store. The
But I think
store
I've
was
seen the clips. I think
demolished.
I've seen. Yeah, I think I've seen the clips from it.
So yeah, so it was a big deal, I would say, for Shriman Legend. Like the whole mall
Meet and
was
greet.
destroyed.
When it was in Navi Mumbai, the police had to get involved because the capacity of the mall nearly got full in that small area. So the meet and greet arena, which one was there, just got spoiled. It broke down. And Geo was just like, oh shit, we are at a tough situation now. But I mean, that's the thing. I think so now content creators will soon realize that if there are 200 people watching you, imagine if 200 people are in front of you. And sooner than later, let's just see how does that build up. Because with more events coming up, more opportunities for creating content, hopefully, we can hope that there is more and better content. Quantity over, it's always quality over quantity at this point, isn't it? Because
Yep.
everybody can make content, but how you differentiate yourself is what matters.
And like I even recommend to orgs like, okay, like if you don't want to put 3 videos a week, 2 videos a week, right? Or let's say like 5, 6 videos a month, that's okay. If you have a good Valorant team, if you have small backend team, just do a simple docu series, do a 2-parter or a 3-parter video a month, and make sure the production quality is good. That will
Mm.
stick to people much. I still this date, I go back and watch Team Liquid's IEM run. I go back and watch Vitality's vlogs because again the production quality is good. It will stay timeless. Plus, you also get influenced on ideas on what you're about to do.
Yep.
Mm.
That is again very important. And if you like now, if you go back, if you watch a video, let's say I don't know, of 100 theories about their team, right? Of like 3 years back. If you watch a Team Liquid video about a Counter Strike team 4 years back, 5 years back, you still watch it and you feel like, okay, this was a good piece of production. This is almost a cinematic piece for them. And this sticks for a long time. And it adds so much value to brands you're partnered with, to the players you're in the video, and actually, and of course, the organization itself.
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's just see how can they do because I think so. The amount of idea that we have put out here, anybody can make the most out of it. Only depends on execution because all of these orgs have the money, they have the monetary gain, they have if they want, they can create the team and they can make good content. But at the end, it all depends on if you value your creator, if you value your staff, and if you are ready to pay the big bucks, then maybe you'll get good content as well. Because let's just say some
I
people
mean,
don't
big
pay.
bucks maybe like, I'm sorry, like, but uh, there are instances, and I think like now a lot of like videographers and people who actually do good quality stuff, I realize
Yeah.
that okay, maybe orgs don't want to invest money into equipment directly. So what a lot of people do and what a lot of people are doing right now is actually just invest on stuff and buy their own gear, and
Mhm.
they include the cost and include the money or whatever the cost is into their final quotation. So by
Yeah.
time they actually make the money back as well,
Yeah.
which is important. So let's say, for example, Vaishnav is there, then Warlock is there. Who These guys are like amazing videographers in the scene. There's Sudhi, who's also amazing
Photographer.
photographer.
Yeah. Sweetheart.
Yeah, so I mean, there are like these amazing people working on events and everything, and there's so much to explore. And I've seen this in Southeast Asia as well. Individual videographers, cinematographers, like what they do nowadays is like they have their own gear, so they just make a quotation, so they make the money back in no time,
Yep.
because organizations may or may not have equipment, and that will affect the quality of the production.
It
Obviously.
will
Because
affect
you
a lot.
can't, as an organization, you can't give a iPhone and say, oh, हमें Team Liquid जैसा video चाहिए. You can't do that. That's just impossible, right? And I'm coming from a film background. My mother and my father, they both work in film industry. I'm coming from this background, and I know how hard it is, to, if not able to have good production, and expecting that to, expecting to get like a fucking cinematic beat or something, and
Yeah,
doing everything on iPhone. That's not a very, uh, practical thing to just
those
do.
short on iPhone videos.
I mean, so, dude, what the fuck? And I've seen big organizations straight up be like, it's a strategic investment. Oh, but we want a video that will be like a fucking Oppenheimer movie. I'm
Yeah,
like, what the fuck, man?
I during my time at Field when Anna was like, we need to now focus on content. We Anna knew the quality should be great. We bought equipments for 3 or 4 lakhs just
Yeah.
to create quality content. Because if you are shooting on an iPhone and if you are shooting on a 2 lakh camera, there's a huge difference in the
There is
quality of the video.
absolutely. I mean, obviously, there is a difference on who is also handling the equipment,
Yep.
but it's a major factor of what kind of equipment you're actually using.
For me, my cousin is a director. So for me, when I know, like when I was having a discussion with him as well on this, and I'm just like, production is so important and people undervalue it so much. It's like, look, have a cinematographer, have somebody to even like an AD, somebody to understand, like just find venues and stuff. And like these are the things which are needed, but people don't realize it. Like when you're creating content, you are in short actually doing what movies do, but in a smaller form. You might not require an entire staff or makeup team and all of that. That all it might not be an overkill, but you need things which are required, like the basic stuff to just make sure that even the lighting is good. Like
Mm.
how would I put this? One example. I mean, I know we have taken like it's going to be a very long episode, but it's fine. I
It's
mean,
okay, it's okay. Fuck it.
you all have time, no? Because I have to anyway stay up till 3 o'clock. So if you're
I
not
have
comfortable,
no issues. I have to go to the gym in the morning, so go for it. Fuck it.
serious, you're good.
I'm cool for 15 minutes, man. I'll collapse here. Then you can do the podcast, but I'll just be sleeping in the chair. That's all.
I mean, I don't mind that. That'll be a nice clip to have, no? In another
This has
video.
happened before. This has happened before with Godspeed stream. I was just sleeping throughout the stream, and everyone can hear me snoring. Unless you want that, I'm okay.
It's fair dues, man. As long the show must go on, but in a very constructive and in a very nice way. I'm not going to drag it that much, but I mean, that's the whole point. Like you can create, like, see, for me as somebody who enjoys content or like even movies and whatnot, content creators have the marketing value. It's like you're find the Shah Rukh Khan in gaming, and congratulations, you have somebody who can just be like that one name who has to be there in the video, and you get like another 50,000 views. You might get another 5K likes. You might get another thing. You have that power. You have that thing, but people are not. I think so. Like Soul is that's the only reason why Soul is succeeding. They are making sure that every week there's some content. I'll give an example. They today put a video of Halloween, right? Because 31st, so Halloween video. There was a World Cup, the India Pakistan match was happening. Okay, we'll put a World Cup theme video. World Cup team video is done. And these are the ideas which they are. It's not like, oh, this is like Einstein level IQ.
And this is all part of fast marketing, which is a concept with, for example, Ryan Reynolds, right?
Yeah,
He took this concept and blew it up like instantly. I mean, you must know the story behind this football club and
yeah,
the bourbon brand as well, aviation gen. This is exactly what he did. This thing has been in the traditional media industry for a very long time, and now it's coming into esports. And this is just relevancy stuff, right? If you look
yeah,
at it
obviously.
that way, what's relevant right now, and you post about it, and that's how you get views. That's how I get views on my Twitter. What's relevant, what people need, I just put it up, and that's called farming, and I'm getting views of that. Simple as that.
I mean, Pranay, for you, do you feel like people have to be more observant over here? Because even if you state like like imagine even if you have like a team of three, somebody can just look at the recent trends and be like, hey, look, content creators make this reel of this song. Like, hey, look, do
Yeah.
this.
And
Yeah,
Somebody
we
that's
should.
used to do that.
famous, right? That's how people get famous nowadays, and it's so
Ah,
much easier with Instagram reels and fucking shorts and the
we
shit.
used to do that in VLT, bro. Like, if we didn't have creators free, I used to just make a Valorant meme out of that song and put it out, and it
Ah,
used to get 700K, 800K
uh,
views on it.
and even though like I remember we did those videos for TikTok and all. Those videos like what peripherals do players use?
Yeah.
So we just made like a different format for reels and for bleed players. And I just used the trending music in the background. It's easy like 20K views. easy, nothing, no work, not इतना कुछ है नहीं उसमें करने के लिए. Because
Hmm.
it's what's trending and what's relevant right now. Use that with the advantage.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you have the reels. Like literally, even for me to create something, I'm just like, okay, I'll take us. But for me, it's different because I don't want to use trendy songs because I want to use song which I like. So I'm like, screw it. That is my own thing, which I'm downplaying myself, which I realize it sometimes later. But yeah, I mean, that is how it works. I suppose like you need to understand the trends and stuff. And I think so. Sooner than later, we might see that happening. I hope we do because if we don't, you're wasting time because I think so we had talked about this as well. An esports player has it's like a cat's life. 1 year is 7 years of a cat. An esports player, 1 year is 4 years of a professional athlete. By the time you're 28, you're out. There's somebody else who's ready there to take you away. And that's the only time. It's like a very small time frame which is there. And sadly, I don't see anybody like I'll be blunt. I don't see anybody in India who's trying to make the most out of the esports career right now. Rossi did it. After that, who's next? I don't see anybody
So
live streaming.
Rossi will do it and is doing it. I don't think he did it now. Abhi
Hmm.
to
He
start
hasn't
हो रहा
done
है
it.
उसका.
No, I mean he started,
Lightning Fast has
stopped,
potential. Lightning Fast should do it.
but he's not again doing
Uh,
it.
I think he's more focused on competitive things now, which is whatever.
I mean, no,
Um,
I mean, it's fair dues. You have a professional career, but I mean, I know for a matter of fact, these players are scrims and everything, and that on goes till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night. And
but,
fair
but
dues
then you
come.
have like, but then you have like Bhavin Bhai, right? Did it at a till a certain limit, and then he switched back to management. So he's not interested probably in so much popularity and all, but he had that, but he just left it and he'd be like, okay, I'm not, I'm now on a sage
Yeah.
path and I'll become a management guy. You know, if he wanted, he could probably be a very branded person. He could do very good coaching stuff or something. I don't
He
know.
could. That's the thing. I mean, now I see most of the players going to coaching. Like, see Marcel doing coaching and stuff like that. And other players have now started doing
But
coaching.
Marzil is doing like that. He's just doing freelance coaching, I believe, right?
Yeah.
He's not actually coach right now. He's not interested. He wants to play Counter Strike.
Hmm.
So he's getting back into the action. Then this Sai, I mean, Sai did quite. I remember Sai doing quite a bit of brand deals back in CSTs as well. He used to be part of Entity and they had good sponsorship with HyperX. Then Sai did good media stuff with ESL as well. Then
Recently did
again,
something with.
yes, Sai individually has also done work with HyperX. Yes, I remember that correctly.
Yep. He has
And
done with
and this
HyperX.
is all before Valorant. This was like 2018, 19 stuff.
So
And
who?
then obviously Valorant came out, so you know
So I
we all
mean,
know how this went.
then we have to point this question out now. Which is the next like for us, which is the next Valorant streamer who can we can see the break the barrier because we have seen
Valorant Pro, like a pro Valorant
in
streamer,
India, yeah,
or
in
just a
India,
Valorant streamer?
Valorant game take a streamer. We'll talk about professional players first. Like which do you feel has a
Probably
barrier
Rossi
break?
only. I see
Remove
Manan
Rossi.
doing
After that,
solo. Manan is doing a very similar way to what Scary is doing. I'll tell
he's
you how. So Scary, besides being an amazing player, we all know that,
yeah,
but he actually owns how do you say it? Performance enhancement. You know those chewable tablets
yeah,
thing. He owns a company called Reflex in Thailand,
okay,
and he's promoting the shit out of it. And it's very popular in Thailand. And similar thing Solo is doing. Solo obviously is not at the same level as Scary, but
obviously.
he has his brand Dog Energy, which is again energy drink or a energy drink, right? Yeah,
Yeah, something
yeah,
like
Wait, that's in
yeah. So
India,
he
right?
has that brand. Yeah, it's in India.
Acha,
It's
dog
in
was the
Delhi
thing
only.
which True. I remember True Rippers had like an event and they were showing this dog
Yeah,
energy
he
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
did.
yeah, that thing.
yeah,
So he is doing similar to Scary, what Scary is doing, but obviously the Scary is very different.
yeah,
And I can see Solo taking this thing very far. I'm not sure what's going on with the dog thing right now, but this thing can go very far because again, it's a business and it's a very marketable thing, and he's
yeah,
in the same industry, so it's obviously good for his personal brand as well.
exactly.
Besides Solo and and Lightning Fast, I'd say I think personality wise, Sai can do very good
Yep. Sai
because
can do
Sai can
exceptionally
do,
well.
yeah, interestingly good, man. That dude is like a charming person on stream, man, and off stream
Mm,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Pranay, who do you feel other than Sai? Because you have worked
Except
more closely with Indian players as well, so I feel like you will be able to like grasp this much better.
If we are talking about, I would feel like Amaterasu. Like
Where is
people
he?
does
Yeah.
so he's like I can't say where he is
Okay.
right now.
Not
He is
obviously.
planning stuff, but I feel like if there is someone who can get uh, a huge amount of brands and stuff with his personality, it
Uh,
Mm.
is Amaterasu.
how I picture Mantrasu is, a wholesome role model type person
Yeah,
who can,
Amaterasu.
he's like someone to look up to. Oh shit, man, this dude had a very crazy journey. Throughout everything, he fucking popped off. He played till very end, and now he's doing whatever, right? So he's someone to look up to in
Trying to
the in
search
the
up his. I
industry.
need to search up his journey. That means because I'm not much.
Oh, Mantrasu is industry for so long from Counter
Yeah,
Strike days, man. He's been playing, I believe, 1. Since 1.6.
yeah, he's
Oh,
playing from
He used
1.6.
to play with Hunter and all these guys. Hunter is not even in the scene right now.
damn.
Hunter, Rich, the Yumumba guys.
My God.
Uh, I mean, this is like some old school shit.
Yeah.
So I
You
feel like Amaterasu is the best person. He has one of the most he's one of the most funniest players I have like interacted with, worked with. He has the best personality. He's the most humble person, and you can learn a shit ton from that person.
I can actually imagine a Mantrasu being on stage as a desk analyst or maybe
I
a.
can too,
I
Yeah.
man.
can imagine him become a desk. I mean, obviously he's knowledgeable as fuck, right? And I don't know about how he is like as in terms of speaking skills, but that is something you can obviously learn,
He
right?
has amazing speaking skills
Oh,
too.
even perfect, man. I think he's someone who can really be on the desk analyst stage.
Trying to get him on the
Uh,
podcast as well. Then.
Starting with VCL, and obviously going up to
Yeah.
Masters Champions. He can definitely do that.
The second play, if possible.
Now that Pranay also mentioned, like again, I can definitely see Amantrasu, doing all this stuff.
My God. I mean, there are
And
players,
this
and
kind of and this kind of image is very good for brands, and brands do
obviously,
love these kind of people.
obviously, I think so. That's the whole thing. Like somebody, I mean, for brands, what I know when I've worked with some people and whenever I have to deal with people and how do I put, if you go to events and you meet people and you talk to them, events, not gaming events, I'm talking about influencer events where you go for these, how do you put these, which was the last one? There was some in BKC which I had to go for and I was meeting these clothing brands and these shoe brands and all of them. And they were telling like the influencers which you work with, we want somebody to just be like a good face, marketable, and also who is not that difficult to work with. That's like one of the major things. I think so in esports because we come from a place of like, yeah, grind, get better and work better. That we never tend to look down upon anybody. It's very rare that I've seen any player be looking down on some other player until they have like a personal enmity. Obviously, I get that, but and I don't think so. The mentality is there that we are going to look down upon our people who are working with us, our team managers and stuff like that.
Mm.
I would also like to point a statistics about Amaterasu. So, if Amaterasu is playing with someone on his stream, for
Yeah.
example, if he's playing with Fatu and Fatu is before playing with Amaterasu is getting 300 watching. If
Hmm.
he's playing with Amaterasu, the watching directly skyrockets up to 2K, 3K watching.
People love Amantrasu, man.
And
There's no
if
denying that.
we post something about Amaterasu, it gains more than 80% higher interaction rate or 80% higher impressions than any other post. He's just the most marketable person I feel like there is. He
Um,
can
100%.
market a lot of things and he's a marketable personality. He is a personality.
I mean, I'm trying to look at his socials and I see like nothing now. Nothing as in like
He's
he's
He
not.
isn't a
He
social
has
media
come up.
person.
He has made his name in an era when social media was not very popular.
yeah.
So he is so known in Counter Strike. You have no clue about it.
No, I mean he is handled
Social
like
media kind of boomed around 2018, 19
yeah,
onwards,
yeah.
in esports, right? And uske baad jo log aaye, I mean, they guys do have decent following.
No,
I
I
don't think
mean
Amantrasu ever like capitalized on that when he was in prime with VLT and all. But again, he is very well known
mm,
if you look at the whole history of
I,
Amantrasu.
I mean no, I want to just barge in because I just looked at his Instagram. It's written he's there by 8-bit creators. Now we see what 8-bit creators is doing with every other person who they have under them. And I mean, maybe he's gone into silence because he's planning on different project, which I think so. Pranay has some hint which he shouldn't be talking about, which is fair dues. But I mean, there should be something which has been put out by him, maybe just to like keep himself like a little bit, how do I put it, relevant? Or like just to make sure that he's present or something, because then it's like,
If no, so Amaterasu is not a social media guy. Anything which any post which is made on his social media you see now is done by
hmm,
his wife.
oh,
Because Amaterasu doesn't like to use social media much. But
ooh.
even if he posts something, it will get attraction. It's like, Messi posting after 3 months, wala thing.
Fair
It
dues.
will get
But Messi
attraction.
is playing every day. I mean, that's what I want to add. Messi is playing every day. He's on
Let's
everybody's
not
screens.
take Messi then. Let's take Mike Tyson.
Yeah, my okay, fine, Mike. But Mike Tyson does appearances at other shows. He literally went to a pro wrestling. Like, see, I can tell you, like, if you're talking about this, I can tell you this, that Mike Tyson. See, what is happening with actors is they're coming on different events. They might not be there as show of their own, but they're showing some form of like if Amrita Suleiman like streams for an hour a day, the algorithm works in his favor. YouTube, like how is this? Who was this person? If
Listen to me.
okay,
So Amaterasu like doesn't stream during the VLT days. So when I was handling the content, I
hmm.
had an offer from Anna if I can get Amaterasu to stream for 2 hours every day. Every time he streams, Anna was ready to do this because he knew
He
Amaterasu
wanted to.
had the potential to earn him back that money from the brand value. He was ready to pay me that money, but I wasn't able to,
Fucking
bro.
oh my god.
And he didn't have time basically. He was working with the team, he was doing the strats and stuff as an IGL. So, yeah.
No,
And I was ready to do 50-50 with Amaterasu too on this, just to be clear about it.
obviously. What the heck? Like, obviously, give him an incentive. Bro, I mean, that would be better than any sponsorship deal or any loco deal, any router deal ever seen on
Yeah,
earth. Just to tell somebody, bhai, do kar le, I'll do your OBS, I'll do your production and everything. You just play Valorant and you just look at the chat. But that is it.
it's just he doesn't want to do it. He's not a guy who likes to use social media or stream.
But then isn't that like a backfiring thing then? Like for him per se, that becomes a backfire thing, right? Because it's all about
For his
relevance.
brand value, yes.
It's all about relevancy and being exposure and stuff. Like even if like I don't know where he stays or which state he stays in, but
Mumbai.
yeah, but I don't see him at events in Mumbai either. He's not coming to
He
any event.
doesn't go to events until unless there are some old friends of him, like Hellranger, Skills, or anyone going to
I
there.
didn't see him at the Mumbai event then because even
Which one?
the Intel Gamer Days, literally the entire whole team of this was there now. Global ka entire team was there. Excalibur is also there, but there was nobody else there. So I think so. Maybe
He
that's another
doesn't
thing.
like to go to events too, man. I'm telling you, he's not a social guy.
Hmm.
But he has one of the best personalities if you have worked with him or if you are friends with him.
Not worked with him sadly, but yeah, I can understand where you're coming from. I just wanted to ask it because for people, I mean, obviously, I cannot just be like, I have to ask this because at the end, we're talking about content, we're talking about brand value, and we're talking about everything else. But I think so. That is where we end off realizing that there are two people who can make it big in India right now, two esports players, that being SK Rossi and Amaterasu when he makes his comeback. But yeah, until then, I think so. I think that this much is enough of information for everybody to overload. We could have gotten into a bit more details about how things work on the back end. But I think so for now, we'll just leave y'all with this one. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And one more thing I would like to say is we were talking about important people in videography and stuff like that. And we tried, like, I'll say one thing, I tried my level best to get Rohit on, but he's working on the Sky event. So you can see if you're valued, if you're good with production, if you're good with video editing, please, for the love of God, please, for people easy, like how Pranay said in the beginning, if you can somehow make content and create content for people, there is a gap. Work there and trust me, you're going to make the big bucks because I've heard it from other people as well. So, I mean, that's all. Would you like to say anything before we conclude? Sirius is looking like
Like,
he's gone to sleep already. So,
I would just
S-
like to conclude stay healthy, guys, and go gym.
yes,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I
the
went to the.
motto of life.
Wait one second. Pranay, did you go to gym today?
Yes.
I went to gym. Serious? Did you go to gym?
I actually did.
Whoa! Damn.
I actually did.
So that's what you hear. Everybody, please stay healthy. Please stay safe. And yeah, if you're in Bangalore, see you in Bangalore. But by the time this thing comes out, I won't be in Bangalore unless there is another Valorant event in Bangalore, which could be there. But I think so it got cancelled. So yeah, take care.
No,
Be
no, no,
safe.
no comments, no comments about it. Don't comment about it. Don't jinx it, you know.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. Maybe just maybe. Maybe just maybe. Or I'll be in Lonavala. Depends. But yeah, anyhow, take care, be safe, and
Damn.
good night. Bye bye.
Good night.